hitters in the game of baseball. His entire career, since he was 21, he's had 100 RBIs every season. This year, Jim Leyland says he's not elevating the ball as much as he has in the past. He has stuck at 25 home runs and 88 RBIs. But with Mark Burley going tonight, and Miguel being a great low ball, off-speed hitter, he might be ready to get hot and launch another one tonight against Mark Burley.
Mark Burley, of course, such a consistent winner for the Chicago White Sox over the years, and Ozzie Guillen's got to have a lot of confidence when he sends him out to the mound.
Well, he's an unbelievable pitcher, and you talk about consistency. That's what he's done. The speed of his delivery, he gets the ball and he throws it right away, but he's done some exceptional things in his career also. He's been a World Series champion in 2005. Marked with consistency that year. A no-hitter versus the Rangers in 2007. In 2009, the perfect game. And then he's a Web Gem regular, All-Star, 4 times Gold Glover, free agent this year at 32 with 159 wins, possibly in a White Sox uniform next year. But the key tonight, Eric Cooper's behind the mound. Guess where he was? He was there during his perfect game and his no-hitter.
Same umpire who worked the plate in the perfect game and no-hitter working the plate tonight. We'll see how that plays out. Let's go down to the field now. Pedro Gomez is with White Sox slugger Paul Konerny.
He is a slugger. Paul, 393 home runs, 2,000 hits. Do you ever start to think about your place in this game?
Not too much while I'm playing. It doesn't take too much around our league to look around and see what some other guys have done, and that kind of puts it in perspective with some of the guys in the league and the numbers that have been put up by some other guys, even on my own team with Omar Vizquel. Stuff like that. I mean, you look back when you're done playing, but for now, I'm right in the thick of it, and I just want to keep on moving along.
And for now, a very tough loss last night, 8-1 lead, and you guys end up losing 9-8. How do you overcome that, especially knowing just the magnitude of this series?
Yeah, it was tough. I mean, there's some games. You play a lot of games that are forgetful. Last night, I don't think anybody will ever forget that one on our team. It was. I've never been in one like that before. You just got to be professional, get out here today, and get after it. Because if you're caught too much thinking about last night, you're going to get beat tonight. So all we can do is come out and fight hard for 9 innings tonight and hopefully come away with a win.
All right, Paul, thank you very much. Buster Olney has a special guest himself. Buster?
Justin Verlander, you're a lot of awards talk right now. You're right in the middle of it. What's your feeling? Should pitchers be considered for the Most Valuable Player award?
Well, being a pitcher, obviously, I would say yes. I think pitchers, can have just as much value as a position player. I know we don't get the opportunity to go out there and play every day, but when we do get the chance, it's a big impact for that team.
Max Scherzer starting for you guys tonight. What's important for him?
Well, I think for him, just like most guys, his fastball control, it starts there. Just staying over his back leg and really locating that fastball. He's got a great fastball, mid to upper 90s when he wants it to be, and everything else plays off of that. His changeup's tremendous, so if he locates his fastball, gets ahead of guys, it makes it that much tougher to stay on that changeup.
Justin, thanks. Dan, back to you.
All right, Buster, thank you. Great scouting report by Justin Verlander, and tonight, among other things, we'll evaluate what Verlander was talking about. His candidacy for Most Valuable Player in the American League. We'll get you caught up on some of the meaningful games that took place today with the Baseball Tonight gang. They'll get you all up to date on the highlights and the standings. And what is Ozzie Guillen's future with the Chicago White Sox? All that and more coming up tonight. But on the way, the first pitch, hard-throwing right-hander Max Scherzer is on the mound for the Tigers as they try to sweep the White Sox here tonight. Welcome to ESPN's coverage of the hunt for October. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball is presented by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. And in part by 5 Hour Energy. 5 Hour Energy fixes tired fast. Visit 5hourenergy.com. Dan Schulman, Bobby Valentine, Oral Hershiser back with you at beautiful Comerica Park here in downtown Detroit, where the first place Tigers take the field in their traditional home white uniforms with the Old English D. They're a popular bunch in this town right now, and why not? They've got a 6-game lead atop the American League Central. The visiting White Sox are in third place, 7.5 games back. Ozzie Guillen in his 8th season as manager of Chicago, including a World Series championship back in 2005. As we check the starting lineup tonight for the White Sox, presented by Taco Bell. The speedster Juan Pierre leads it off. Alexi Ramirez batting second and playing short. Paul Konerko, and you heard from already, batting third at first base. A.J. Pierzynski back off the DL, catching and a batting cleanup. Diane Viciedo, a DH, is batting fifth. Alex Rios in center field batting sixth. Alejandro Diaza in right field batting seventh. Brent Morel is actually at third base tonight. Gordon Beckham is the second baseman, so flip the positions on those two at the bottom of the order for the Chicago White Sox as they get ready to go. A team that has really underachieved offensively this year. The biggest reason why they are 7.5 out instead of, as many expected, perhaps leading the division. They were favorites to at least contend for the division crown. If they're going to win tonight, they'll try to get some damage done, Oral, against Max Scherzer.
Max has been inconsistent this year. Right now, throwing the ball okay, but at the beginning of the year, he broke out to a very hot start. 6-0 in his first 9 starts. But since then, he's been quite average. You see the 7 and 8 with a 5.43. Consistency on his changeup and ability to get left-handed hitters out is what's brought those stats, the 5.43.
The defense behind Scherzer tonight. Newcomer Delman Young is in left field. Austin Jackson having a sensational series in center field. Maglio Ordonez is in right field tonight for the Tigers. Brandon Inge back for the Miners at third base. Johnny Peralta is the shortstop. Ryan Rayburn at second, and of course Miguel Cabrera at first. All-star Alex Avila is catching Max Scherzer tonight. This is a talented bunch, the Detroit Tigers. A beautiful night after one doozy of a storm rolled through these parts yesterday, affecting this game, the Michigan football game, the Notre Dame football game, among other things, but we're under some relatively clear skies tonight. And we are underway with a first pitch strike as Eric Cooper, the home plate umpire, makes the call. You're looking at Juan Pierre, hitting .283 on the season, 25 steals, stole second and third on consecutive pitches yesterday, and he's got over 550 career stolen bases. After Pierre, it'll be Alexi Ramirez and then Paul Konerko. It was expected the White Sox would be a terrific offensive team this year. But some of their players, Adam Dunn, Alex Rios, Gordon Beckham, have really not lived up to expectations. And the White Sox are 12th out of 14 teams in the American League in runs scored. A check swing roller to his right. Rayburn on to first in time. As you watch the game tonight, you can also follow Buster Olney and Pedro Gomez on Twitter. To join the talk about all things Sunday Night Baseball, add hashtag ESPNSNB to your tweets. Let us know what's on your mind. You can also like us on Facebook at facebook.com/ESPN Baseball Tonight. They are multitasking already down in their respective camera bays down to the field. Buster and Pedro. Here's Alexi Ramirez. And a fastball for a strike. Oral, you like what you see early?
Well, the key for Scherzer is keeping the ball down. Alexi Ramirez, a good fastball hitter, especially early in the count. Very aggressive usually.
A Silver Slugger Award winner a year ago. A little bit low there. Ball and a strike.
He's that wiry strong, isn't he, Bobby? You know, he's got some serious bat speed. Not
Boy.
there.
Well, they had to have speed to keep that off of his chest. That ball might have hit him right in the middle of his uniform, and he broke his bat. He's upset, but he should be happy that he doesn't have a bruise. Oh, look out!
Yeah.
That ball was zeroing in on number 10. Now his hand's hurt, his favorite bat's gone, and he's going to get a slider that he could swing at with one hand here and walk back to the bench and get some ice.
He's trying to work the bees out as he steps back in. Scherzer out in front of ball and 2 strikes.
The diabolical thing is to come right back inside if you're a pitcher. Because they do not want to swing right now in there.
Change up.
Yep.
Thank you.
To left field and caught by Young. 2 down. So you'd rather see either a down and away slider or an inside fastball than a changeup. That was option number 3, right?
For me, it was definitely option number 3. The changeup's the easiest thing for him to get the head of the bat out, not worry about his hands anymore hurting, and also it's just really, it's a bad pitch. Go ahead and jam him again, run it up inside there. He doesn't want to swing. Now you really overemphasize the fact that you're going in there, and then you throw him the slider in the dirt, and he's just dead, like Bobby said. He hasn't gone for the ice yet, though, Bobby.
So 2 down in the inning, and here's Paul Konerko, the rock in this White Sox lineup year after year. First pitch swinging, ground ball to third. Brandon Inge. Inning over. Scherzer makes quick work of the White Sox. Mark Burley will try to do the same to the Tigers when we come back.
Times, great cities and great teams seem to shine and fall dim together. When Ford was king, Cobb and K-Line ruled. When GM was boss, so were Greenberg, Sparky, and the Bird. Its toughness showing, Detroit still won it all, even as 60s riots scalded the city's heart. Now, it's Verlander, Cabrera, and the Tigers on top once again. A team in its town, always fighting.
And perhaps on their way to the postseason for the first time in 5 years, the Tigers lead the American League Central as we bring you back inside Comerica Park. The White Sox win in order with the top of the first. Here's the Tigers starting lineup presented by Taco Bell. Austin Jackson, 7 for 10 in the series. Mackley Ordonez in right field batting second. Delman Young in left field batting third. Miguel Cabrera, Victor Martinez, Alex Avila in the middle of the lineup. And then Johnny Peralta, Ryan Rayburn, and Brandon Inge, 7, 8, 9. We are ready for baseball. Mark Burley is always ready to go, and so is Austin Jackson. As he lines a ball to left center field, he's thinking too, and he is in there standing up. Jackson is now 8 for 11 in this series.
Mark Burley works fast, throws strikes, and that is his reputation. 159 wins so far in his career. You see he pounds the strike zone, only 37 walks, 177 innings pitched. He leads since 2001 Major League Baseball in innings pitched. and in quality starts since 2001. And we will have a clock on him tonight because he gets it over in a hurry.
And then you have Maglio Ordonez batting second here with a man on second and no outs, doing something he's not accustomed to doing, and that's trying to hit a ground ball or a base hit to right field.
Instead, a little looper into shallow right field, and on comes Diaz to make the catch. So, as you say, Ordonez is unaccustomed to this role, and he did not execute.
Yeah, he got a sinker away, and he had a very poor swing on the first pitch, and then a cutter in. Then he tried to get his hands into inside out to hit it to right field. Not a good enough job. Now it's up to Jackson to possibly steal third base because Burley works quickly, but he's not that quick to home plate.
Oral, you mentioned off the top of the show, Eric Cooper, the home plate umpire, was the ump both in Mark Burley's no-hitter and in his perfect game. One pitch into this one, and there's no shot at history tonight for Mark Burley. There's a cutter over the inside corner, a strike taken by Delman Young. There's Eric Cooper, who's been behind the plate for some history involving Burley.
Maybe it'll be a one-hitter. Get it out of the way early.
And as Burley works quickly out of the windup, he tries to throw the rhythm of the hitter off. With a man on second base, often he does not look at second base to do the same thing and throw the rhythm of the hitter off. This time he looks and pitches.
Fouled back by Young, picked up a few weeks ago from Minnesota, one of 4 players that general manager Dave Dombrowski picked up during the season. And Young has settled in as the everyday left fielder and the number 3 hitter in this Tiger lineup, getting a little protection from Miguel Cabrera, who's on deck. And with Avila hot, Victor Martinez has had a great year. Cabrera, a very strong season. The acquisition of Young. Austin Jackson's on fire. A pretty dangerous offensive team right now.
Yes, and Avila getting hot, batting from the left side, has really balanced this lineup very well for Jim Leyland, and it makes them a threat going into the playoffs.
There's the all-star catcher, Alex Avila. Swing and a miss. Out in front of the changeup is Delman Young, and he's gone. 2 down. That'll bring up Miguel Cabrera. The last time he came to the plate in this ballpark was last night, bottom of the 9th. First pitch swinging. Game over. The Tigers came back from an 8-1 deficit to win 9-8. Having an outstanding season is Cabrera, 3rd in the league in hitting, 10th in the league in home runs, 8th in the league in RBIs, all in a difficult ballpark in which to put up power numbers.
And Earl, the way he took that first pitch, that little cutter inside, he's hunting that low ball out over the plate, hunting a changeup. Going to use the big part of the park that Ozzie Guillen before the game was saying he does so well in RBI situations.
Yesterday, Cabrera hit 3 balls, Oral, 420 feet. 1 for a homer, 1 for a double, 1 for a fly ball out. But he really hit the ball hard yesterday.
1260, huh? Not bad for 3 at bats. I think he's going to get the stand at first base on this at bat.
Ball 4, he does.
Starting pitchers take notice of who is hot and who is not. They read the scouting report, they prepare for the game, but when you start the 3rd game of a series or the 4th game sometimes of a series, you gather a lot of information about a lineup and you see what they are currently doing, and that is why Cabrera is standing at first base right now. He has been hot, and he'd rather pick his poison and go after Victor Martinez.
Another tough assignment. Victor Martinez has had an outstanding year, hitting .321. He's got 77 RBIs on the season. Very good numbers with runners in scoring position. 2 on, 2 out, no score. Left center field, a base hit. Jackson will come in to score. 1-0 Detroit.
They say that Victor Martinez is the man's man and the player's player. He's the guy to give guidance to young players. He's the guy to pick the guys up when they're feeling down. And here he gets a first pitch changeup, hits it out off the end of the bat, and dumps it in the left center field for a clutch RBI.
And they pounded Cabrera in 4 pitches, even though it was a walk. Martinez got to see that over there, and I think he was set up because he gave the inside pitch away. He just luckily got enough bat on that. They went changeup away after throwing all fastballs in. They got what they wanted, a weak hit ball. It just was not at somebody.
The Tigers strike first. Here's Avila hitting .296 with 17 home runs on the season. What a year he's had. Jim Leland talking to us before the game about all the things Avila had to do last year in his first year as a regular. Throw out runners, get to know the pitching staff, swing the bat, so many different things that he was really learning at the major league level at the first time. And the improvements he's made defensively this year, Jim Leland feels that's given him a comfort at the plate. One less thing to worry about. He's much more relaxed as a hitter.
But he comes from a baseball family. Oral, you know his grandfather well. His dad is the assistant general manager here. Ralph
with the Dodgers has been there forever. There's his dad, Al. He was a 5th rounder out of the University of Alabama at one time. His son. It was in 2008.
Al goes with Avila. Alex goes with Avila.
And we know Ralph Avila, one of the great scouts for the Los Angeles Dodgers, who helped create their Dominican winter program and their Dominican Academy. Very well known around baseball. Great baseball family.
Foul ball. Well, this was a very big series when it began, and the feeling was the White Sox have to at least take 2 out of 3, if not sweep. And they have lost the first 2 games. They are trailing here, and it's going to take a miracle for the White Sox to get back into this.
Luckily, there have been miracles in baseball, and Ozzie Guillen believes in them. You know, he's not superstitious because he, like Avila, wore number 13.
The Tigers caught the Indians at the end of May till early in June in 12 games. They made up 6 games in 12 games. So the Tigers have that in their memory, how they caught the Indians.
And there are a lot of games left between all of the 3 American League Central Division contenders the rest of the way. Big curveball, and it's a foul ball. They're the up to the minute standings, with Cleveland earlier today beating Kansas City 9-6, so they are 6 back at the moment, and Cleveland will welcome the Tigers to Progressive Field beginning tomorrow afternoon, a big 3-game series, as the Indians hope to make up some ground on Detroit. The Indians have lined up Ubaldo Jimenez, Justin Masterson, and Fausto Carmona to face the Tigers. Full count now on Avila. The runners will be on the move. Cabrera from second to Martinez from first.
It's a great at bat here. He's grinding this out with first and second, 2 out. 21 pitches already for Burley. If they don't even score another run, they've had a successful inning, grinding the pitcher and getting 1.
Fouls it off himself, and he'll get another pitch.
Not afraid to throw that changeup to left-handers inside. There's not much a left-hander could do with it when it comes in, other than foul it off yourself or foul it into foul territory. That ball was right off his instep. Comes down, leaves a mark, but he's a catcher. And he gets in the ice tub for 10 minutes after every game, so he doesn't worry about full body ice.
Just like the football players.
Still working him.
It started to come into vogue at the end of my career, getting the full body ice baths. I got in there every once in a while.
They're really great, and the contrast really keeps the body fresh. If you could go from the hot to the ice and do it so you get the numb and then the warming and then the numbing again, you're ready to go.
I like the warming part.
And I'm numb.
Slow curveball, strike 3 called, and the inning is over. The Tigers, though, get 1 and have a 1-0 lead early off Burley and the White Sox. Baseball everywhere. Watch over 100 live out-of-market games per week online and on your favorite devices. Visit MLB.tv for details. Top of the second inning. Tigers 1, White Sox nothing. A.J. Pierzynski leads it off and takes a strike from Max Scherzer. Pierzynski just back off the DL a couple of days ago. A fractured bone in his left wrist. Remember the White Sox for a long time. Signed through next season. White Sox mixing in a young catcher, Tyler Flowers, this year, especially with Pierzynski out. He's done a nice job as well.
See, his wrist is really padded underneath that wristband. There it is. Has some Velcro around it. Probably has a pretty stiff piece of plastic there also, huh?
There's some support, yep, for sure.
Down and in, 2-2. After Pierzynski, we'll see Diane Viciedo and then Alex Rios. This is the middle of the White Sox lineup. They went very quickly, 1-2-3 against Scherzer in the first inning. Viciedo, a young player the White Sox are awfully excited about. A mix of veterans and some young guys just trying to make their way at the big league level on this team. A broken bat, soft liner to short, one down.
Max Scherzer getting in a couple people's kitchen already.
Do it on both sides of the plate too. Burrow with a cutter against the left-handers and that hard sinker into right-handers.
That ball's exploding. He's hiding it well right now. They're not picking it up. Key for him will be the second time around in the order if he's able to mix his pitches and use his off-speed stuff.
Here's Viciedo. Viciedo, 22 years of age, defected from Cuba in 2008. Nickname is the Tank. 5'11", about 230. Slider for a strike there. Ozzie Guillen telling us that Viciedo's really done a good job of losing some weight, getting in good shape, and he can hit. This is the slider again, 1-2.
He's a good off-speed hitter, and there's cheating on that fastball. He's been paying attention, knowing that the ball's running in on right-handers. He's a little vulnerable inside, so he's cheating, and he was off of that slider.
Didn't miss by much. 96 miles an hour and just below the knees.
91-92 has been the two-seamer. That running fastball in on the righties. That 96 was a four-seamer. He was trying to keep to the outer half.
It's an important guy, Scherzer. I mean, we've talked so much and will talk about Justin Verlander tonight, and the Tigers maybe on their way to the postseason, and Verlander would get 2 starts in a series, but somebody else has to win a ball game, and Max Scherzer's certainly got the arm to win a ball game.
Well, he gets hot for a month, and it's the right month come October with Verlander, or they could be really hard to beat.
Now the breaking ball swung on and missed, 2 down.
This looks like a fastball that's going to run up and in, and Bobby said kind of cheating, but no, it's a slider that goes away. Get him out front as far as the timing, and then you have the break that goes down. Doesn't really fight its way away from the right-handed hitter, but it goes down and gets him out front because of the speed.
5 in a row set down by Scherzer to begin the game. And here's center fielder Alex Rios. Rios coming under a lot of scrutiny again this season for a subpar year, hitting just .217. He's been benched at times. He's been dropped in the lineup recently, making a lot of money. And a guy, as we mentioned, along with Adam Dunn, Bobby, they really counted on these guys to do a whole lot more offensively.
Indeed, Alex was supposed to be a big offensive player. You know, he came over last year. He really dropped his hands, tried a different stance. Now he has his hands back up. He looks totally out of sync, has no idea of how to start and how to approach the ball. There he was just moving as the ball was coming forward. Maybe he'd be able to hit a pitch low and in, but this is a guy still searching. Here it's the last month of the season.
Lays off there, 2-2.
Big-time talent. I think he and Adam Dunn get the bulk of the blame for their offense struggling. These two guys, not only can they hit for an average, but they drive in the runs. They hit home runs. They are just the people that can change momentum and turn a game from one side to the other.
And they forgot how to hit.
Left field, and it's going to drop for a base hit. Young playing deep and over toward left center, couldn't get there in time, and Rios has himself a single.
And there's that off-speed pitch down that he kind of just hit off the end of the bat. Young froze on it a second, playing much too deep in left field, and the ball drops in front of him, but he's moving forward. Great center field coverage. You can see where you actually look at the ball last, way out in front of the plate, and then the bat makes contact, and you hope that it falls.
So the first base runner of the night for the White Sox, and here's Alejandro Diaz, the right fielder. Well, he's 7 years of age, originally signed by the Dodgers. He's also played with the Marlins a little bit. He has 4 major league home runs, and the first one he ever hit, he hit on July the 27th off Max Scherzer.
Tell you what, it's interesting already for me to watch Max Scherzer throw from the windup and from the stretch. Completely different deliveries, completely different back legs, which is going to change your feel of your delivery. And to make that adjustment so quickly with men on base is going to be very, very hard. And it's probably attributes to why his ERA is so high. His back leg is completely bent now, like he's a 6-foot pitcher that's trying to be really compact. From the windup, he stands really tall and tries to kind of overpower the hitter and kind of topple at you. And from the stretch, he gets in a little compact position and bends his back leg and locks his back hip up. Look at that back leg.
Runner goes. Out at second base is Rios. Rios arguing the call out at second, but the White Sox are done. Mark Buehrle and the White Sox 1-0 going to the bottom of the second. Ozzie Guillen raves about having Mark Buehrle on his team.
Buehrle is the man in this organization. You know, I mean, he's a pitcher. When you talk about pitching, White Sox pitching, this man means a lot. This kid, if you're a baseball fan and you're a White Sox fan, you appreciate how he go by his business. You appreciate how he show up to the ballpark every day and work. I have it for 8 years, and I always say, I wish I had 25 Buehrle. I don't have to worry about anything. Just go and play, have some fun, boys. But this man, for me, personal, one of the best human beings and the best people I'll be around, most competitive player I'll be around. And it takes a lot of guts to go out with that crappy throw and pitch.
Now, he means that in only the nicest way, right, Oral?
Well, the nicest way. You know, you top out at 87 miles an hour, you better hit the corners. You're blessed that you're left-handed, so that gives you a shot. There's a joke around the big leagues. Left-handed with a heartbeat, you got a chance.
And Burley wouldn't take any offense at what Ozzie said. I mean, Burley is exactly as Ozzie just portrayed him to be. He has fun. He doesn't put pressure on himself. He knows he doesn't have, you know, a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. He's got a lot of heart and a lot of brains. And as Ozzie said, a lot of guts.
And he and CC Sabathia, the only ones to win double figures, 11 years.
Swing and a miss, and Johnny Peralta is gone, one down.
And he throws it all, and he throws it right away from the first batter of the game, because not one individual pitch is a out pitch, but all of them together. The two-seamer, the cutter, the four-seamer in there, and then the little slider and changeup. He got that big curveball right there, but he has to go to the whole kitchen sink right away.
This is just outside, ball one to Ryan Rayburn.
Rayburn hit the big 2-run homer last night to tie the game against Santos. He came in as a pinch hitter against a right-handed pitcher. Pinch hitting for a left-handed hitter, stayed in the game and helped them win.
Grounded to short, 2 down. Rayburn with a 2-run home run off Sergio Santos in the bottom of the 9th, and then an out later, Miguel Cabrera with a home run off Santos to win it. Santos has really had a great year, but Cabrera got him and Rayburn got him. The first runs that Santos had allowed on the road all season, and it was the biggest comeback the Tigers have had at Comerica Park. Here's Brandon Inge. Inge back from a stint in the minors. The longtime third baseman for the Tigers was hitting down around 160 and accepted an assignment to the minors, which a player who's been around the majors as long as he has does not have to do. But Inge said, you know what, this is on me. I got to go fix it. And he went down to the minors for a few weeks. Now back, has raised his average slightly.
When you get into September, though, you don't want that average to start with a 1.
And if it is starting with a 1, you're usually not in the lineup. Jim Leland, you know, really respects him and trying to get him hot, because he is a guy that can help them really on the defensive side. And if he can get a couple hits here and there, the lineup has gotten thicker. You could carry him there.
Reaching for it, chops it to third, charged by Morel. Inge will head to second base.
It's a real slow hit ball hit down the line where Morel has to navigate the base as well as the ball. Morel, as he's charging this, right at the end you have to get your feet together so you can explode through it and catch it off the left foot and take 1 step and throw it off the right. Instead, he had to take 2 steps after he caught it. We call that traveling in basketball and traveling in baseball. He was off with his throw, and now a man on second base.
Scored a base hit and then an error on Morel, allowing Inge to take second. So a runner in scoring position, 2 down. The Tigers up 1-0. And back to the top of the order for Austin Jackson. The White Sox have had no answers for Jackson this weekend. The double he had in the first inning, his 8th hit in 11 at-bats in the series, 4 of them for extra bases. He had 2 triples yesterday, and he hit a home run on Friday. A terrific season for the Tigers last year. Started very slowly this season, but has really picked it up. Very good numbers, 8 for 17 in his career against Burley. A lot of the Tigers, most notably the guy in the on-deck circle right now, Maglio Ordonez, a lot of the Tigers have really good numbers against Burley.
Maglio's well over 400 against him.
They're one of the best low ball hitting teams in baseball.
Swing and a miss by Jackson to end the inning. The Baseball Tonight gang. Steve Rethube and Aaron Boone will have a look at a very controversial play involving the Marlins and the Phillies on the other side of this break. Long conversation here in this ballpark, and I'm sure many other ballparks, about that play today, because this is kind of uncharted waters, something we haven't seen in the way that replay was used today in that game down in Florida. As Alejandro Diaz is up again. He was up when Rios was thrown out trying to steal. And that's the question you had, Bobby. You're allowed to use video replay to determine if a ball was a home run or not. End of story, as we understood it. And the ruling on the field in that play initially was a double. So can you go to replay and say, no, it's not a double, it was interference, so it's an out? And
you only can protest the rule if it's a misinterpretation of the rule. If the rule says you can only look at it for a home run, then I guess they might have a case of a protest saying that you are protesting the fact that they looked at it and used it for something other than the rule states you can. Who knows? Calling Joe Torre.
Seriously, you would think if you are allowed to assess any part of a play once you go to the video replay, that would have been made clear in public at some point. And again, the issue is this. They went to look, should it be a home run or not? If it was over the fence, then it would have been a home run. But when it's in the field of play, can they change it from a double, which was the initial ruling as Diaz strikes out? Can they change it from a double to an out on the basis of interference? That seems beyond the scope of the understanding we had on this rule.
Yes.
Chad, one of the other umpires, Chad Fairchild, already had spectator interference. Now we got a decision whether the spectator happened over the fence or below the fence. But the initial ruling on the field was a double.
I thought that's what they had. They had that on second and third as they came off the field. I think they got it right. As Aaron Boone says, they got the call right. That's what it's all about.
And it will be addressed, I'm sure, in the offseason. Baseball will definitely look at it, I'm sure, and maybe reword or restate how they're going to look at it.
How would history have been different if in 1996 Jeffrey Mayer was determined to interfere with a catch of Tony Tarasco?
You're not endearing yourself to Baltimore. I mean, I guess you're
They might have won game one.
You're bringing up a bad memory.
Yeah,
you're bringing up a bad memory.
And a good one for the Yankee fans.
You think we'll see expanded use of replay in some way, shape, or form in the offseason?
Just that this took too long. Obviously, this was 12 minutes, and both managers did a little arguing in the interpass.
Strike 3 called. Brent Morel is gone. 2 down.
So as Benitez throws this ball at Jeter, and this high fly was hit, Tarasco goes back for it. And it is interfered with. Young 12-year-old Jeffrey Mayer right there. He gets the ball. Richie Garcia says, no, I saw it. They didn't have a chance to use the videotape replay. Very similar play to today's.
That would be an out today.
It was an out today.
Gordon Beckham takes the strike. Incidentally, Derek Jeter, who's been as hot as anybody, homered today in the Yankees' 9-3 win over the Blue Jays, his 5th of the season. He had 5 RBIs in the game as the Yankees complete the sweep of the Blue Jays.
And that call, Richie Garcia, the umpire back there, admitted the next day that he blew the call, especially once he got to see the replay.
0-2 on Gordon Beckham.
Gordon Beckham is so highly touted coming out of the University of Georgia. High draft choice, could hit, could field, could play the game. He has not progressed at the major league level. His approach at the plate is not where it should be to sustain an average or power. And I think he needs a lot of work over the winter to really refine his major league game.
So there are some mechanical flaws in this one?
I think he's mechanically flawed, yes. And he has changed a number of times over the last 2 years.
His struggles have been overshadowed to a certain extent by the struggles of Adam Dunn and Alex Rios, but you're exactly right. They expected a lot more than a .232 average and a number 9 hitter out of Gordon Beckham at this point of his development.
Yeah, we mentioned Dunn, we mentioned Rios, but you know, Beckham's got to pick up his game next year for him to be a part of the Sox moving forward.
When he first got here, he was an impact player, that's for sure.
Fouls off the changeup. The count remains 2-2. Alex Rios hitting under 220. Beckham 232. Adam Dunn is at 163.
And on the bench.
And on the bench. And that average would be the lowest in Major League history. For anybody with 400 plate appearances.
So I know when a guy's hitting 300 and at the end of the year they bench him to protect his average. Oral?
They're not benching him to protect his average right now. I think they're going to hope that he gets a fresh start next season.
Once again, talking about the character he has seen in Dunn and how Dunn has handled the struggles that he has had this year.
Yeah, he said he has not taken it out on his teammates. He hasn't sulked. I'm sure when he's by himself that he's had some tough moments, but around the teammates and the ball club, he has not looked for excuses. And he's held his head up high. You see him there cheering and up and about, not standing and sitting in a corner pouting.
One of the real good guys in baseball just went into a slump this year. And what happened is strikeouts stayed the same, but his walks went down. So he wasn't able to maintain the balls in play average that he's had over the years because he hasn't walked as much this year as he has in the past.
One of the most consistent power hitters in baseball the last 7 or 8 years. I mean, you could count on him for 35, 40 home runs a season, but has really struggled this year. Swing and a miss, and Scherzer strikes out the side. 2-3-4. Ordonez, Young, and Miguel Cabrera coming up for the Tigers. And Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Taco Bell, is brought to you by the makers of new Extra Strength Bayer Advanced Aspirin, the official pain reliever of Major League Baseball. Extra Strength pain relief twice as fast as before. Maglio Ordonez with a base hit to left field off Mark Burley, and Ordonez hits Burley about as hard as anybody hits Burley. With that base hit, Ordonez is now 18 for 40, a .450 average in his career against Burley.
Again, Maglio, one of these Detroit Tigers who handles the low ball very well, and the one thing Mark doesn't have in his repertoire is a high fastball.
Yeah, he can go with the high cutter up and in, but it's not going to be a strike. If they lay off that, you're right into their strength, especially when you got a guy who goes the opposite field like Maglio.
Now Delman Young struck out his first time up.
That's about as high as he gets it right there. That's a perfect pitch. On the hands, cutting, 2 balls above the belt.
Well, when it's low, let it go, kind of like a knuckleballer. When it's high, let it fly. But when it's high and up and in with that cut, that's when he gets the outs. But it's usually going to be a ball, like there. So he feasts on the stimulus of the ball is up. The hitter wants to swing when I get the ball up. So when I get the ball up, I need to put it in a hard place to hit because the bat's going to be moving and it doesn't have much on it. I usually throw for a ball and try and jam the guys. He goes low and away with the changeup. Maglio did not let him get to the up and in fastball. He had a changeup. It was kind of an up changeup. But he will continue to come at you and he will make pitches. Up and in, low and away, little loopy breaking ball, come back at you with a 2-seamer. He will throw you everything.
Your classic work fast, change speeds, throw strikes kind of guy, right?
Keeps the defense on his toes. But you know what? He just doesn't work fast and throw strikes. He throws quality pitches.
He's had a perfect game. He's had a no-hitter. He's a terrific fielder. He's won a couple of Gold Gloves. He helps himself in many ways. He's durable, doesn't get hurt. Every single year, 30 or more starts, 200 or more innings, double figures in wins.
32 years old, 159 wins, 43 games over 500 career.
And headed for free agency at the end of the season.
He could get a big number because, you know, everybody goes, well, they pay for innings eaters. Well, he's that. And then they pay for quality. Well, he's that. They pay for left-handers. He's that.
Slow curveball ripped into left field, a base hit. Back-to-back singles for Ordonez and Young, so the table has been set with Miguel Cabrera coming up for the Tigers.
Last time there was a place for him. 2 out, the man on second. This time there's no place for him.
Well, he went after him with the cutter last time. The cutter still works this time if he gets a ground ball to third with it. But he'll probably show that inside pitch one more time and then go away. Lied. It's going away right from the get-go.
I don't really think he has anything to get him out in the strike zone.
I'm with you.
Miguel makes him throw strikes. I think he gets it.
Borderline strike, 1-1. Cabrera, it seems like he's been around forever. He's still just 28 years of age. Began with the Marlins, now in his 4th year with the Tigers. Every full season he's been in the majors, he has driven in at least 100 runs, and he's on pace to do it again this year. He's got 88 right now.
That's a really smart pitch there because he got the borderline call the pitch before, so he knows Miguel has to protect that, and he went right back in there and got the fall off that he needed. Now he can go change up in the dirt away, but he better make sure it's a ball. Miguel, he's going the opposite field and he'll still be on it.
Curveball line to left, caught by Pierre for out number 1.
He got him out front, but because Miguel is so good at going the opposite field, it keeps him on the off-speed pitch. But here you go, fastball away or change up away, then you go cutter in, you get a call that you shouldn't have, you get another good pitch in there, now you're 1-2, and now the slow curveball, which would have been a ball, but because he has such a great approach and he's so strong, he hits a bullet to left. Burley catches a break.
And a lot of times people hit the ball at the major league level because they have a nice swing, and then very often it's because it's a good athletic event. We have a men up first and third, first and second, and a backdoor pickoff there with the left-hander. That was Konerko, who came in behind Young, with Burley making a good throw to him as he went in behind the runner at first.
Burley also picks off as many runners year after year as just about anybody. 5 this year, had 11 last year.
That's a very risky throw because the runner is between the fielder, the first baseman who's coming in from behind the runner at first, and the ball. Often it hits the runner, causes havoc. Paul is there to make the play.
But what's riskier? Missing the ball over there, having second and third, and being able to walk Martinez to face Avila. How are we going to pronounce his name tonight, Dan?
Avila.
Avila. Okay, this is really hard because his grandfather goes by Avila.
That's right.
Avila. We got a different, same name, same family, different pronunciation.
That's what a college education will do for you.
2-1 the count on Victor Martinez. He hit an RBI single his first time up. Known, and Jim Leland has talked about it. Other Tigers have said not only a great player, but as good a teammate as any of them has ever had. I know Aaron Boone, sitting back in our studios during baseball tonight, has said the same thing. He was a teammate of Victor Martinez and feels the same way about him. Now, you can get along with Boone. You can get along with anybody. 3-1. Uncharacteristically high pitch count for Burley. He's been in some trouble. Gave up a run in the first. Usually keeps the pitch count down.
And he's pitched most of these pitches out of the stretch because of the aggressive swinging of the leadoff hitters, hitting the first pitch twice for base hits.
Full count.
He's not going to give in. 3-1 changeup right there. He knows he has a young hitter, even though an all-star on deck. You really have the MVP caliber player at the plate.
You have the runners going here on 3-2, 1 out with full confidence that Jim Leland has of Victor making contact on any pitch that might be in the strike zone. Even with Maglio Ordonez as the lead runner, I believe they'll be running.
And they are. And it's ripped into left field, a base hit. Ordonez will score. Young will take third. Another RBI for Martinez. 2-0 Tigers.
Well, this is a situation, Dan Orel, where men up first and second, you signal from the bench where you want the throw to be thrown. With Victor Martinez up and Burley an off-speed pitcher pitching, you'll only cover one base, so you'll be covering second base and not third base. As this is done, Morrill breaks to the bag. No need to do that. You saw Beckham breaking to second base. The last thing in the world you want to do in that situation with a contact hitter up is vacate two positions. Morrill did. Consequently, it's a base hit rather than a double play, or at least a force out at first. That's got to be a coordinated signal. We're throwing the ball to second base, guys. This is a pull hitter, and we're not giving that hole at third base.
Here's Avila. Liner to left. That'll drop for a base hit. 3-0. Pitching coach Don Cooper on his way to the mound.
So here you see the runners are running. Second base is covered by Beckham, and third base is being covered by Morrill. They're both moving to the bases. No need to have that done. If he holds his position, the ball's right to him.
Especially with an off-speed pitch, change-up in the 3-2 count already had him out front 3-1. So you know where you're going with the ball as the catcher. A.J. Pierzynski, you don't need your fielders moving.
Only one.
Only one.
2 runs on 4 hits this inning for the Tigers against Burley. And here's Johnny Peralta.
What an unsung hero for this Tiger team Peralta has been. Very steady in the field and very productive at the plate. 18 home runs, 72 RBIs with a 300 average. I mean, that's all-star caliber. And he's batting 7th in this Tiger lineup.
And again, this is not the easiest ballpark to put up numbers as a hitter, especially a guy who hits for power. It's 420 to straightaway center field. It's 345 down the left field line. There are no cheapies here at Comerica. You got to earn your numbers if you're a Tiger. Roller to short. 1. And it skips past Konerko, and that will allow Martinez to come in to score. It is 4-0.
The White Sox look like they're deflated from yesterday's loss. A game that they had a 7-run lead, and Tigers came back and beat them 9-8. The play from Morrill at third. The play here, Beckham making this turn, not really hanging in and being aggressive. Konerko not blocking that ball, keeping in front of him. The ball when Morrill was down at third and threw it away at first. Konerko didn't come off the bag. They just look like they're kind of sleepwalking right now. Morale has not been good at third. Beckham at second right there, not a good turn. And Konerko is a much better first baseman than we just saw.
Well, how difficult is it to come back emotionally from a game like the one the White Sox went through yesterday, especially when that was a game they, in quotes, had to win?
It went from 5.5 to 7.5 with a 7-run lead. That's not good. Doesn't feel real good this time of year.
Rayburn rips the ball to left field, but Pierre is there to make the catch, and finally the inning is over. 3 runs for the Tigers. They're up 4-0. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball is presented by Taco Bell. With Bobby Valentine, Oral Hershiser, Buster Olney, and Pedro Gomez. I'm Dan Schulman. Sunday Night Baseball from Comerica Park here in Detroit. The Tigers looking to sweep up 4-0. As we go to the fourth inning, and Juan Pierre leads it off and takes a strike. Top of the order for the White Sox. Pierre, Alexi Ramirez, and then Paul Konerko against a very sharp Max Scherzer. A sharp Scherzer tonight, who struck out the side in the third.
Well, he's not necessarily sharp on the corners, but he's sharp with his movement, Oral. The balls are darting across the plate with his sinker going away from left hand. There's cutter coming into him.
Hit sharply, but right at the second baseman, Rayburn, one down. Catch a double dip of Major League action on ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball. First National League East Division rivals, the Braves and the Phillies, get going at 7 Eastern. Then at 10 Eastern, it'll be the Mariners and the Angels, as the Angels try to chase down the Rangers in the American League West. ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball also available online at ESPN3.com. The Angels winners today beat Minnesota by a score of 4-1. Jordan Walden picked up save number 28 for the Angels. And Texas also won. They beat Boston 11-4, so it's a 3.5 game lead for the Rangers over the Angels still in the American League West. And a series remaining between the Angels and Rangers in Anaheim right at the end of the season. The Angels hoping those 3 games will be relevant and meaningful by the time they get there.
Hey, that Ranger game, Adrian Beltre got his 2,000th hit. He's only 32 years old.
Oh my goodness.
He's got 2,000 hits?
2,000 hits at 32.
Fouled back by Ramirez.
Guy on deck, Paulie Konerko, has 32 also. He's 36 years old.
And he's closing in on 2,000. No, he does have 2,000 hits, yeah. And Juan Pierre, who just grounded out, closing in on 2,000 hits. Just inside, 2-2.
Scherzer's fastball is very alive tonight, trying to run it in there on Ramirez. He's getting ahead of hitters. He's 10 out of 11 first pitch strikes.
And when you're running it in on right-handers and you have a slider that moves like that, you are really in control of the batter's box.
I tell you, his slider tonight is not like sharp down and away. It's sharp, kind of tilting almost straight down, but it's enough of a break and enough off speed because of that outstanding fastball, how alive it is and on their hands.
Grounded to third. 2 down.
Yeah, when the body's going into the dugout and the bat's going toward the plate, you're usually going to get a result that looked just like that or a swing and the miss. Remember, he was almost hit with a ball in his first at-bat on a ball running in on his chest, and then he had a fastball that ran in off the plate, and he sees it at 93. Then the slider moves away. Well, your heart and your butt have to be in it in the at-bat, and neither seemed to be at that time.
Here's Konerko. Konerko grounding out his first time up. Only one White Sox player has reached base so far tonight. Alex Rios, who had a single into left field and then was promptly thrown out trying to steal. So Scherzer has faced the minimum. And he'll have nights like this, guys, where he's really on. 17 of his 27 starts, he's given up 2 earned runs or fewer. But in 6, he's given up 6 earned runs or more. So it's either a hot or a cold Max Scherzer. Not a lot of in between.
If Justin Verlander does his thing in the playoffs, they get there. And this guy gets hot. And Fister continues to be the pitcher that he's been. Their rotation's all of a sudden pretty deep.
But understand, this is a White Sox lineup with 6 right-handed hitters in it. It's really made for his power stuff.
Right, because he's had most of his trouble this year has been against lefties and not doing a good job with his changeup.
Especially lefties who like it out over the plate, who could stay with that changeup and hit it for power.
Got enough on the fastball, though, even when a great hitter like Konerko knows it's coming, still can't make good contact.
Paul reminds me so much of Todd Zeile. The way he looks at the plate, his approach at the plate. Todd Zeile will be with us next Sunday in New York for our 9/11 game. And he had a great career also.
Cubs and Mets 1 week from tonight here on Sunday Night Baseball. Another play for Inge. And the inning is over. We'll hear from Ozzie Guillen, White Sox manager, when we come back. Nothing going to the bottom of the fourth. Pedro Gomez with Ozzie Guillen.
Ozzie, 7 hits, 4 runs for Burley. What do you see?
Well, those guys come out for the last 3 days swing the bat pretty well. You know, we come here and those guys just red hot hitting, and you know, that's the type of game Burley always had. They always got to put the ball in play.
What about the defense? A couple of errors already.
Well, we've been playing pretty good defense all year long, but you know, those 2 errors cost a couple of runs. But you cannot criticize your players when, you know, making those type of errors. They're there in the field for that.
All right. Ozzie, thank you. Back to you.
All right, Pedro, thank you. His 8th season, Ozzie Guillen, as manager of the Chicago White Sox, including a World Series championship in 2005. Ozzie played for the White Sox for the vast majority of his major league career. Spent 13 years wearing a White Sox uniform. So this organization means a ton to him and has for many, many years. Lives year-round in Chicago. At one point held a home in Miami as well, and it has been speculated a lot, especially recently, that the Marlins have an interest in Ozzie, and that perhaps Ozzie will wind up managing the Marlins as they move into their new ballpark next year. Brandon Inge with a base hit. He's 2 for 2. Also a little controversy at times over the last couple of years in Chicago. Ozzie's never one to make sure the filter is on, and every now and again he says something that maybe Kenny Williams, the GM who you see on the right there, might wish that he hadn't, and the relations have reportedly at times been strained between Kenny Williams and Ozzie Guillen, who were teammates way, way, way back when. And Ozzie says, you know, they may not be the best of friends, but they have a very good working relationship. Time is called at the last moment at the request of A.J. Pierzynski, the catcher for the White Sox, who saw something.
Ball on the warning track.
Yeah, beach ball on the warning track.
Right field.
So one of the many unresolved questions, guys, about the White Sox heading into the offseason and eventually 2012. And Kenny Williams also incidentally had a verbal spat with Greg Walker, the hitting coach, recently as well. But do the White Sox, can they coexist? Can the White Sox bring back Kenny Williams and Ozzie Guillen? If not, Is it one or the other? And who? Which one?
The meeting with Ozzie today, he thinks they can definitely coexist and be successful. And they've been talking the last 2 months about their future and this year. So professionally, like he says, they're on the same page. They can build the organization back.
What I got out of that is that they really have a good professional relationship, and they don't go drinking together anymore.
Right. They don't do much socializing.
That's cool.
Yep.
It's the way most GM manager relationships work. They were teammates at one time. They went from being teammates to being partners.
They're about 18 years old.
Right. Partners in crime of developing an organization and building it into a world championship. You can see how you can work apart after a while and still work efficiently.
Both of them, both Kenny Williams and Ozzie Guillen, strong personalities. Ozzie very outspoken. Just a couple of days ago, it came up that Ozzie didn't want to be a lame duck, so-called lame duck next year, going into the last year of his contract. He says, I want to stay in Chicago. I want an extension. That has not yet been addressed publicly, at least by the White Sox.
I think Ozzie makes them relevant. Winning or losing, he makes them relevant. He gets them in the paper. He makes them part of the news. There's excitement. They're on television broadcasts. He covers for his players in bad times. He makes it exciting to follow the White Sox. Infamous or famous.
Full count.
And he's also a very, very good baseball man. He's not just an outspoken character manager. I mean, he knows baseball inside and out. A memory like an elephant and a very sophisticated baseball mind.
I really like Ozzie. I think he's good for baseball. I think he's good for the White Sox. And I picked them to win it this year. That's my only disappointment, that they're 7.5 back right now, making me look bad. Come on, Oz.
There's ball 4, 2 on with a nobody out. 21 years in a White Sox uniform between being a player and a manager here or for Chicago. Ozzie Guillen with his thoughts on what the White Sox mean to him.
My life. You know what I mean? I think this team give me a lot of opportunities. This team gave me opportunity to play in the big league, to stay in the big league, and this team was the first one to give me opportunity to be managing. And I think I'm very loyal to people. I love this ball club. Moreover, I think the relation with Jerry Rines and myself is like father and son relation. Sometimes works, sometimes not, because sometimes when I talk to you, as the owner, I kind of, hit you because I say, well, you treat this man like your own father.
I tell you, we know this, for the Chicago baseball fan, it's going to be a fascinating offseason. Both teams. There's a lot of uncertainty about what direction both teams will take and some of the choices both teams will have to make in the offseason.
And Kenny Williams will take a lot of the brunt of the negative for the Rios deal, the Peavy deal, the Adam Dunn deal. And Bobby, you know this. General managers ask managers if they want certain players. They are not in.
Sometimes.
Yeah, they're not.
Yeah.
It's not a vacuum. There's a big time discussion, and sometimes managers have just as much power as general managers in the owner's eyes as far as opinion to bring a player. And we don't know that internal struggle or the internal power of who made those exact decisions and how much they were weighted. So when you look at Kenny Williams and the roster and the failure of those three big guys, PV, Rios, Dunn, you can't immediately say it's all Kenny. That's a group decision a lot of times.
Very often.
From above and below, potentially, right?
A lot of times.
Yeah.
And each individual decision might have been weighted differently.
Ordonez lines one to right field, and a nice running catch by Diaza. Tagging at second is Inge, and he'll take third on the play.
This is a very good base running play by Inge because there's no outs. And what you're supposed to do is get to third base on a ball in the air. So he's bouncing. He doesn't know if it's going to fall or not, but he knows he has to get back to the bag in time to tag and make it to third base. You need to be on third base with one out. And here Diaza sees that ball, not into the glove, but he knows that it was going to go into the glove, makes the catch and gets the ball in.
So 4-0 Tigers, runners on the corners, one out for Delman Young. Young hitting third in this Tiger lineup. Cabrera fourth, Victor Martinez fifth. Those are the Tigers' two best hitters, but Young has definitely added to the quality of this lineup since he's come over from Minnesota. Some good acquisitions, as we mentioned, by Dave Dombrowski. Picking up Doug Fister and David Hawley, a couple of pitchers from Seattle, also Wilson Bettamy from Kansas City.
If Austin Jackson gets a read at all on Burley's high leg kick, he's going to try to steal, even though getting picked off here will take the sacrifice fly away. Stealing a base will take the double play away and make the infield come in. Regretfully for the Tigers, he can't read the move at all, Earl. Every move he's going back to first as Burley's coming home.
Now, Burley's got a very good move. The pickoffs are up there. Since 2001, he's got the most pickoffs of any active pitcher. Not just length of time, but quality move.
Grounded up the middle. And safe at first is Young. A terrific effort by Ramirez. But it's a base hit and an RBI for Young, and it's 5-0 Detroit.
And Austin Jackson's speed there necessitated a throw to first base when he, as this was fielded, he was thinking about going to second, realized he had no play at second, and did the 360 to no avail at first. Beckham's getting there, but Jackson's there first. We did mention that the White Sox looked flat, but as Ozzie mentioned, the Tigers look really in gear. They're swinging, making contact, running the bases well. Trying to put the Sox away is what they're doing.
Looking for the sweep. Here's Miguel Cabrera.
They've had Burley in the stretch pretty much the whole night. 15 of 21 batters. Bobby, you said that the leadoff hitters have done a great job for the Tigers, and then they've continued to press the issue, staying out of double plays, capitalizing on the errors made by the White Sox.
And pitching out of the windup is one of his offensive. That's the way he gets on the offense, by rushing the hitter out of the windup.
Activity in the White Sox pen. It is right-hander Addison Reed, a September call-up, whose first appearance will be his first major league appearance. He has not yet pitched in the big leagues. He is up here in relief of Burley, who has given up more than 4 runs for the first time since April. Although, to be fair, there was an error in the last inning that didn't help him at all.
I did not remember warming up when I came in for my first big league outing. That's how fast his heart is beating right now and where his mind is racing. I do not remember warming up. I just, all of a sudden, I was on the mound.
Isn't that wonderful?
It was unbelievable.
Left center and deep. Jackson will score. Young getting the wave. 2-run double Cabrera. 7-0 Tigers.
We've talked about the quality Tiger hitters and how they go to the opposite field, how Burley has to throw his cutter inside to get the righties off of his changeup. But they can hit both pitches if they make him throw strikes or they make him get the ball up. And then at 1 and 2, the changeup is up. And so no matter if you're out front or not when it's up, your radar picks it up as a hitter and you feast on it when you're an MVP type candidate. Look at the eyes.
You see the eyes way out in front of the plate looking at the ball in that invisible zone, the last place he saw it, even though it's a changeup. Making contact, elevating it as Jim Leland was hoping he would when he finally gets the off-speed pitch out over the plate. Cabrera drives in the runs and splits the gap.
And here comes Ozzie. Mark Burley had been pitching so well the last few months, coming off a great performance against Minnesota on a Monday night, and just didn't have it tonight. So we will have a major league debut when we come back. Addison Reed on his way into the game for the White Sox. In the American League, the last 3-4 months just didn't have it tonight. Mark Burley leaving a lot of pitches up, and he leads with 1 out of the 4th and 7 runs in already for the Tigers on 10 hits. And on the mound now making his major league debut, right-hander Addison Reed. He was a 3rd-round pick in 2010 by the White Sox out of Cal State Fullerton. Pitched this year at low A, high A, double A, and triple A. And Orel had 111 strikeouts in 78 1/3 innings.
Now, I'll tell you what, when you do that, you are a suspect turning to a prospect, and rookies get hazed. And I'm not sure if I like them doing this out in public like this, but it is a little bit funny.
Shane Lindsay and Addison Reed both having to wear the pink butterfly backpacks on their way out to the bullpen.
They bring in the gum and the sunflower seeds out the backpacks for the bullpen guys.
So what's going through his mind right now?
He's dying. It's so much fun, and it's just a blur. At least it was for me. And just think of one thing: throw a strike, keep the ball down, and just follow a veteran catcher and AJ Pierzynski. And you see the white saliva. He could barely spit.
Also have to remember to breathe.
Yeah, try and do that.
That's the key.
Facing a true professional hitter in Victor Martinez. 2 for 2 already with a couple of RBIs.
It's a long way from A ball, low A, all the way up to here in 1 year.
Oh, he's signed to see the country, just like joining the Navy. Huh? Signed, and he's been all over the country in 1 year.
Miguel Cabrera doubled in a couple of runs to end Burley's night. 7-0 Detroit.
Difference between the minor leaguers and the major leaguers is consistency. You see the arm strength already, 93, 95 miles an hour. You see a little movement in tail. He's got himself his first big league strike with a 1-1 count. You get to see what the off-speed pitch. He's got a changeup and a slider also. And he's got butterflies.
And not on his back
anymore.
Pops him up. Diaz of the right fielder coming in for out number 2 here this inning in the first down of Addison Reed's big league career.
He's got a 0.00 ERA and a 1/3 of an inning.
And 3 quality pitches to a quality hitter. Threw the ball where he wanted it, had the velocity on it. Now you get to do it again.
And hopefully for about another 20 years, he would say.
The batter now, Alex Avila. A strikeout and an RBI single. Now it's possible that AJ Pierzynski's never caught him before. It's probable.
Yeah.
Yes.
Contract purchase from AAA. Yep. He wasn't on the roster. Probably was not a early spring training invitee. He might have come in to throw some batting practice to the big leaguers. That's about the exposure he would have gotten in spring training. Spring training, you bring in your big league roster, and then you have your 40-man roster where pitchers that are going to possibly pitch at the big league level as your insurance policies. And then you have minor leaguers that are on just minor league contracts that are definitely going back to the minors. But they come in to protect all the other arms and throw batting practice early in spring as the big leaguers and your backup big leaguers get themselves in shape. You don't even dress in the big league locker room. You dress over in the minor league complex a lot of times. Sometimes you get bussed over as help early on. You don't even see the big league complex until it's time to come over for workouts or throw BP. You go from that to pitching in the big leagues in 1 year.
We told you he attended Cal State Fullerton. White Sox notes say Cal State Fullerton. White Sox media guide says San Diego State. So we went to the source, contacted the White Sox PR. It is San Diego State. So
you're truly a suspect when they have 2 different colleges for you.
You could have just called Tony and asked him.
We could have. You're right. Tony Gwynn. Boy, he got some giddy up, doesn't he, Orel?
Got a good live arm, and he's getting back in there. I mean, you fall behind 3-0, and you have enough nerve to throw a strike and then come back here. Get a little help right here, but you get it in the vicinity, so you got a chance to get a swing. And you do. Right down the middle and up. Love the center field slow-mo.
Me too. Read a closer at San Diego State as we continue to get more information on this young man for Steven Strasburg, who, by the way, is going to return to the big leagues with a start Tuesday night against the Dodgers. 3-2.
It's always good to go to college and have a super prospect on your team. Plenty of scouts to see everybody on the whole roster. They're not there just to see you, the super prospect. You get exposed the whole team. So you could be off the chart, and all of a sudden, because you played with Steven Strasburg, you get recognized and you get a shot.
Major league debut for Addison Reed. Reiner to center, drops for a base hit. Cabrera around third. Rios' throw on a bounce, not in time. Avila takes second, 8-0 as Pierzynski argues the call.
That ball's hit off the end of the bat a little, and Rios charges it well, and he gets a one hop where he knows Cabrera is running. He's going to have a shot at the plate. The only problem is he double clutches as he goes in twice, and that causes him the play at the plate. Not sure he touched the plate. He might have, but he's called safe. And
now Peralta.
So here AJ takes the plate away with his foot, tries to kick his feet away. Cabrera does get the plate just barely as he swipes it. Scores the 8th run for the Tigers.
And closes the books on Mark Burley. 8 runs, 7 earned to charge to Burley tonight in 3 1/3. The Tigers scored 8 runs in their win Friday, scored 9 runs in their win yesterday, and already have 8 runs here tonight. 25 runs and counting in this 3-game series. Peralta 0 for 2, a strikeout, and he's reached on a fielder's choice. Avila out at second. He's got a couple of hits and a couple of RBIs tonight. A lot of different Tigers doing damage offensively.
I don't think we've seen a breaking ball from Reed yet. It's all fastballs.
Just that first pitch changeup. Yeah, I think. And
haven't seen a slider.
Nope.
No breaking ball yet. I sure do like the fastball.
Really like the delivery too.
Yeah, it's clean. Repeatable. Yep. Looks like he's going to stay healthy.
Broken bat flare into right field, a base hit. Avila's going to come in to score. 9-0.
Well, now you've given up a couple hits. One off the end, one off the fist. Made a good pitch, broke the bat. The ball comes into the inside. Johnny's strong enough to break his bat and drive in a run.
RBI number 73 on the season for Peralta. The batter is Ryan Rayburn. There's the slider. Rayburn, the only Tiger hitter without a hit in this game.
He's going to have a few chances to get one. It's only the 4th.
While he might not have a hit here today, he had a big one last night. The 2-run home run on Sergio Santos to tie the game in the bottom of the 9th. Santos knew it right away. Rayburn knew it right away. Tied it at 8. And 2 batters later, Miguel Cabrera would win it with a home run.
It took them a long time to come back in that game, but this game they've had 25 batters come to the plate. 16 of them have hit with runners in scoring position. They're setting the table. They're driving them in. Completely different look than the day before.
They better save a few. They're on their way to Cleveland.
How do you save them?
Actually, you could rest some guys. Take them out. Let them watch the last 3 innings of the game. Get a little rest on their legs, and then they're not going to use up that extra base hit here in this game.
Interesting philosophy.
And the Tigers at Cleveland tomorrow. 1 o'clock start on ESPN Radio, by the way. Orel and I heading over to Cleveland and call that game. There's a bouncing ball that'll bounce right into center field. A base hit for Rayburn. And now every single Tiger starter has a hit in this game already.
Well, Jim Leland knows how important it is to win this game. But with the day game tomorrow, I would think by the 7th inning, we'll see some of his regulars out of the game. They'll be able to relax a little, get a little fresh start on the trip that they have to take tonight, or maybe tomorrow morning. It's only a few hours away. I wonder how they get to Cleveland from here.
They might bus over, not do the whole airplane thing.
Just
get there in about 2.5 hours.
Yep,
bet they do.
We used to bus when I played for the Indians for 3 years. We bus here to Detroit.
Here's Brandon Inge, 2 for 2. 9 runs on 13 hits for the Tigers. No runs, 1 hit, 2 errors for the White Sox. Who knew coming into this series they needed to play well to cut into the deficit. If they lose tonight, they'll be 8.5 out. White Sox may be a little bit grumpy tomorrow as well. They've got a day-night doubleheader at Minnesota tomorrow.
Oh, fun for everyone.
So they could have been 2.5 out. Instead, they're going to be 8.5 out. That's a big swing. Don't tell Jim Leland about big swings and playoffs, and don't talk playoffs with him right now. Tigers had a collapse in September in '88. They had a collapse in September in '06. They had a collapse in September in '09. He didn't want to talk about it until it's clinched.
It ain't over till it's over. 6 up on the Indians, who they will play tomorrow.
With Ubaldo going for the Indians.
And with another series between the Indians and Tigers right at the end of the regular season. So Cleveland still got 6 games left with Detroit. And they're 6 games out right now. Meanwhile, Max Scherzer has been sitting down for probably 25 minutes or something like that, feels like.
It's been about 28 to 30 minutes. Probably be more like 31, 32, even if this guy Inge gets out. Small rain delay. I think the rain delay last night was 36 minutes.
Yep.
Almost the same.
Foul ball.
It's going to be a little longer right now.
He'll take the 5 runs for the 30-minute delay, though, right?
Yeah, like Bobby was saying, you know, save some. We got Cleveland tomorrow. He's probably saying save some for my next outing. I got enough tonight. I'd rather get out there, get the ball in my hand, get my rhythm back, and get us back in the dugout. You can see he's not even sweating anymore. He's had plenty of time to cool off.
Again, the 1-2. And Inge out in front again. Getting a little antsy, though.
Trying to keep the
body temp up.
Exactly. A little adrenaline going.
you sit there and you start to feel certain muscles in your body kind of tighten up, and you go, I just need to keep moving. I don't want to walk around and get tired, but I want to keep moving, keep my body temp up.
Swing and a miss to end the inning. Finally, the Tigers knock out Burley. They score 5 runs in the inning, and they're up big. Check out the MLB Fan Cave at MLBFanCave.com. Many of baseball's biggest stars have stopped by. Check out all the videos and see who will visit the cave next. Follow at MLB Fan Cave on Twitter and like the MLB Fan Cave page on Facebook. And by the way, Tuesday's baseball tonight at 10 Eastern will originate from the Fan Cave with Carl Ravitch, John Kruk, and Kurt Schilling. Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, a 9-0 lead for the Tigers over the deflated Chicago White Sox.
Did you say Shildog is going to the cave? Schilling?
Wow. And Crucky. And Carl. Not Bob Seger, though. Bob Seger's here. Motor City legend.
Is that seriously Bob Seger? Long and lonesome highway east of Omaha. Beautiful loser.
That's the man.
That is the man. It's awesome.
Reaching for it, Pierzynski hits a bouncer to second. One down. In between innings, Buster Olney with Jim Leyland.
Jim, Mark Burley, his toughest outing since April. How'd your hitters do that?
Well, you know, we got some lucky hits and we hit some hard. We found some holes. We shot some hard that found holes tonight. We've hit some soft that found holes. So far, so good.
What are you seeing Max Scherzer? 1 hit in 4 innings so far.
Well, he's throwing the ball real good right now. He's finishing real good. He's getting the ball down and away, and his slider's better right now. Knock on wood tonight. His slider's been better tonight than it's been for a while.
Jim, thanks. Dan, back to you.
He may not look happy on the outside, but he's got to be happy on the inside. Jim Leyland's Tigers up 9-0. An outstanding performance so far from Max Scherzer. Has given up just 1 base hit. That was to Alex Rios, who was then thrown out trying to steal. So Scherzer has faced the minimum as he looks for his 14th win of the season. 13 is already a career high for Scherzer. He was a part of that big 3-team deal, Detroit, Arizona, and the Yankees. Ian Kennedy, Curtis Granderson, Edwin Jackson, Phil Pope, everybody. 80% of current major leaguers were involved in that trade between the 3 teams. And you know what? Everybody's happy. Everybody got quality out of that deal, right?
All teams are happy, and Very possibly some trophies being given out. MVP and Granderson's looking at it. Yeah, Ian Kennedy in the Cy Young race.
That's going to drop. Boy, it looked like Ordonez or Jackson. One of them might make the catch, kind of looking at each other, and it just dropped into no man's land.
Again, a full swing off the end of the bat, or you freeze a little in the outfield. Jackson had an awfully long way to go, and this is just in the Bermuda Triangle there, where no one can get to it. Had some hang time.
I think Maglio gets that in his younger days, and I think Jim down through the stretch talks about how he wants to rest him, keep him fresh, and he might be one of the guys that gets a little rest in this game a little later.
Yep.
Strike taken by Alex Rios. Ordonez on Friday in a game in which the Tigers were up big. He came out in the 5th inning. So he is due to bat next half inning. Might get one more at bat, and that might be all for Ordonez if Jim Leland sticks to the recent plan.
After September 1st, now with the rosters expanded, they have a little bit more leeway on making changes, even here in the American League, resting players, using more pinch hitters, pinch runners.
One and two, the count on Rios.
Jim Leland's mentioned that slider that's working so well for Max tonight, but it's because of that fastball that it's so effective. Even when he leaves it on the plate, the hitter's pulling off and hitting it off the end of the bat or not hitting it at all. Like that.
He has a great relationship tonight between the pitches within his arsenal, and normally his inconsistency for me has come from not the fact he doesn't have great stuff, have a great arm, have a great changeup at times. It's the fact that he's not consistent enough to give that relationship so that the hitter makes an out on pitches. He'll throw a great fastball in and then miss with sliders. Tonight he's got the good fastball in, he's got the good slider, and he's got the good change, and he's putting them together in a way that makes the hitter react in a bad way.
Fastball line into right field, a base hit for Rios. He's 2 for 2. Viciedo up to second.
He's going to have to respond here with these kind of quality pitches. Up 9-0 first and second, 1 out, but he has shown these kind of pitches tonight. The fastball he has been able to keep down and locate to right and left-handed hitters. He's been able to throw this changeup and keep it down, which is effective against the lefties for him and keeps the lefties off him. And then the slider that Bobby has talked about has been sharp and deep and mostly down also. These last two hitters have hit the ball very weakly. He needs to keep his concentration and his confidence that he still has his stuff and just keep pitching.
Here's Diaza. And there's the changeup from Scherzer. Misses up and away for ball 1.
You can't let the results affect your rhythm and your execution right now if you're the pitcher on the mound. The results are going to come. Baseball probabilities, balls are going to fall in. You just got to keep believing in your execution. Now he's trying, too hard. He's overthrowing. He overthrew the changeup. He overthrew that fastball. AJ's coming out saying, "You're not the same guy I was catching before. Come on, trust your stuff."
First time a runner has reached scoring position tonight for the White Sox. First and second, 1 out, and a 2-0 count on Alejandro Diaza. With Adam Dunn benched and Carlos Quinton hurt, the White Sox are finally getting a chance to look at Diaza and Viciedo. Two players that they're very high on, but they just didn't have any room for with their veteran-laden roster.
Ozzie thinks that they've brought energy to the lineup and quality.
And you know what? Looking around at some of the other players on the field from time to time, this team needs energy.
They're also going to need a miracle, as we mentioned earlier in the program.
Brent Morel, Gordon Beckham waiting for their opportunities this inning. 9-0. The Tigers all over the White Sox tonight. Good change up there, 2 down.
Outstanding pitch right here.
You love it when Alex goes out, talks to him after 2 balls, and he comes back and throws 3 quality pitches with an outstanding changeup to put him away.
You see him pronate his hand, turn it inside. You know, it was a great visit by Avila. I'll tell you what, that changeup tonight is devastating.
5 strikeouts tonight for Scherzer. 2 down, and the batter is Brent Morel. $13 wins for Scherzer, but an ERA of 4.5 coming into the game tonight. And obviously, you can see from the stuff, the talent is there to have better than a 4.5 ERA. But you're seeing the good Max Scherzer here tonight. Slider just missed.
You know, everyone starts talking about how are you going to line up if, in fact, you can't have Verlander as the first pitcher in the playoffs. I think a lot will depend on who you like pitching the first game on the road. On how you line the men up, not just who the number 2 is, but who you want to pitch the 3rd game if you get the home field advantage. It's a great pitch right there.
Well, that looked really good from here. It's K-zone thing. Good call, Eric Cooper behind the plate.
Breaking ball for a strike, 2-2. White Sox finally got something going here. Viciedo's at second, Rios at first. Diaz struck out for the 2nd out. Now Scherzer trying to get out of it. Another good slider, strikeout number 6. Catch all the action of the 2011 Major League Baseball postseason. The excitement begins Friday, September 30th with the Division Series. The Tigers are hoping to be a part of it. And they're in good shape right now. They're 6 up on the Indians, and they're up 9-0 on the White Sox here tonight. Max Scherzer has been terrific, and every single Tiger starter has contributed offensively. Every single one of them has a hit. Austin Jackson has doubled and scored, struck out, and walked and scored. Addison Reed still on the mound for the White Sox, made his major league debut an inning ago. Jim Leyland thought Jackson maybe got a little bit too caught up early this year in being a leadoff hitter. Taking pitches, working the count. Leyland said, don't worry about that, swing away. Didn't work out here as he strikes out for the second time tonight, but he is still in a real groove lately.
Yeah, the idea of taking pitches has to come from an aggressive approach as a hitter. You have to think about hitting and hitting your strike. Start early so that you can take pitches that aren't your pitch.
Ordonez with a base hit through the left side. He's 2 for 4.
Let's see if we get a pinch runner.
And we will. And Jim Leyland will make the move. And to bring in Ramon Santiago to run for Ordonez, who will get the rest of the night off. Santiago had a big walk-off home run for the Tigers in a win last week. They, as we mentioned, have a lot of depth right now offensively, getting contributions top to bottom, starters and bench. Ordonez will take the rest of the night off.
And now we're playing courtesy rules. We have a man on first who could steal the base easily, but because Chicago is behind by so many runs, they're playing behind the runner, and the courtesy is not to steal this base, even though they're not holding him on at first.
Delman Young with a fly ball to right field, pretty deep, but caught on the edge of the track by Diaz for out number 2.
I never figured out the unwritten rules of when the courtesy rules can start and who initiates it, the offense or the defense.
I never could figure it out either, Earl.
So you just did it, and you, as when you managed,
yeah, you just did it, and
you hope
that the other team was obliging. Like, listen, we're going to play behind if we have a big lead, and you're not going to try to score to come back and beat us.
But what was it? Would you do it at 5? Would you do it at 6? What is the magic number? 7?
They really weren't tight.
I mean, this is the 5th. This is real early.
This is early that the team that is behind is doing it. Usually it's the team that's ahead that initiates it, that says, hey, listen.
The game yesterday was 8-1, and they lost 9-8.
I know.
This is the 5th. It's 9-0.
That's why I said it was courtesy.
Well, there should be like a courtess flag or something that one team raises so the other one can respond.
I've never really seen it. You know, maybe the 5th, maybe when it's 17-0 or 15-0. But this is the American League. This is a day after a 7-run lead was lost.
And I think Ozzie has taken a chance that Jim Leyland is not going to run in this situation. I think if you read the unwritten rule, you're allowed to run in this situation. But Ozzie's thinking that maybe Jim read in between the lines of the unwritten rule.
Wait a minute, you lost me.
And you caught the Indians in May, early June, in 12 games. You caught them 6 games, and you're only 7.5 out. And you got most of September left.
Cabrera is gone, and the inning is over. A Baseball Tonight update on the races in the American League and National League West on the other side of this break. To check, a 7-game lead for the Diamondbacks over the San Francisco Giants. Arizona's got to be considered the biggest surprise of the 2011 baseball season. What a job by Kirk Gibson and company. Ramon Santiago stays in the game in second. Ryan Rayburn moves from second out to right, with the Tigers leading 9-0 as we go to the 6th inning. Gordon Beckham leads it off for Chicago. How about those Diamondbacks with the year Justin Upton is having? Ian Kennedy, who we talked about a little bit earlier in the three-way trade, got 18 wins. Daniel Hudson, a former member of the White Sox, has had a very solid year as their number 2 starter. The bullpen has done a much better job this year than it did last year. J.J. Putt's the closer.
Kirk Gibson, manager of the year possibly.
Write the check.
Write the check.
That's what the man says.
It's a done thing.
They definitely seem like the best team of the West, and I'd like to see how they do in the playoffs. I think they'd be a real wild card, interesting situation. Even though they'll win their division, they'll be the wild card.
Well, if the season ends with the way the standings look right now, Arizona would play Philadelphia in the first round of the playoffs. You talk about a team, one team going in with all the expectations, obviously, and one team going in playing with house money.
Boy, that'd be like hitting a home run against Eckersley on one leg.
Base hit into center field for Beckham. 4th hit of the night given up by Scherzer. How about the Diamondbacks? Just took 2 out of 3 from the Giants. They have won 11 of their last 12. Ian Kennedy potentially on his way to a 20-win season, and the Giants just cannot score runs. 7 games out now.
They scored 1 today.
They did score 1 today.
Yep.
The worst offensive team in baseball. Here's Juan Pierre. Jackson there, 1 down.
Speaking of playoffs, we're sitting here talking about the key to the Tigers could be Max Scherzer, Pfister. I don't think this performance tonight necessarily says he's going to perform great in the playoffs. The Yankee lineup, the Boston lineup, completely different lineups than the way the White Sox are approaching him and giving him room for error. The slider is good tonight. It's not exceptional. It's exceptional tonight in results just because of the fastball and what the fastball's done. But if Boston and the Yankees faced him tonight, it'd be a little different outing. It'd be more of a grind. He still has to be more consistent than he is tonight to be successful in the playoffs.
Alexi Ramirez takes a strike. And the way things look right now in the American League, Detroit, if they make the playoffs, would play either the Yankees or Red Sox. No way of telling which one it would be.
That pitch right there that he just threw, that 92 in on the hands, good tail to righties, it's going to be tough.
It's a little different if this is Pedroia. It's a good pitch, though.
Yep. It's a little different if that's Derek Jeter, too.
It's right where you have
You're going to have to throw it there 3-4 times in a row, not just once. They're going to force you to execute over and over and over again. Like that. That was outstanding. 92 the pitch before in there, 95 right there. And that's the kind of stuff he's going to have to do throughout a whole game, or at least 6 or 7 innings against Boston and New York to get through those lineups.
But that pitch does make a slider better. And as you mentioned, they're not all great sliders, but they're great sliders because that fastball is moving in on their hands.
But you got a lot of switch hitters in those lineups.
Big difference.
You got a lot of great lefties, which then gets you to your third pitch. You have to have the really good changeup.
Yep.
But this is a great
stuff.
Right. This is great stuff, and it's a great launching point for him to build towards October.
Another good outing. He's had 17 good outings this year. Right now he has 0 runs and 4 hits. After 5 innings, he's pitching very well.
This ball ripped to left center field. Jackson can't get to it. He'll cut it off shy of the track. On his way to third is Beckham. He'll be held there on a long double by Ramirez.
He didn't get away with the bad breaking ball here. This ball's hit just into left center field. Jackson gets a good jump, but he's shading him in right center field, so he catches it on one hop. And now we're playing for the shutout.
With the White Sox best hitter coming up in Paul Konerko.
Well, there's one player playing for the shutout. The guy on the mound. Everybody else is playing to cut down the big inning. He's the only one thinking about the shutout. Everybody else is, let's get it out.
And that's what Detroit should be thinking about here.
And this is where winning pitching is about doing the best thing for the team. Don't give Chicago a chance by pitching to have to strike out Konerko and setting up a possible big inning. Go right after him. Good stuff, and get an out, trade an out for a run, and move on and turn the page like with Bob Seger in the audience.
Shane Lindsay up in the White Sox pen, a young man from Australia who just made his major league debut a couple of days ago for the White Sox. So Addison Reed made his major league debut tonight. Looks like Lindsay will make his second major league appearance tonight. 2-0 the count on Konerko, who somewhat quietly has had another great offensive season. He's in the top 6 in the American League in batting average, home runs, RBIs, on base percentage, and slugging percentage.
And when people mention the word underrated, he's the all-time underrated player in Major League Baseball. Consistently great, consistently overlooked.
You got me grinding now, Bobby. I'm going through the whole Rolodex trying to find another one.
Of underrated active major leaguers?
That are stars, that are not just good, solid players, that are stars and almost superstars.
Especially playing in a market like Chicago to be as under-publicized as he is. Now, he doesn't go out seeking attention. That's not the way Konerko is.
But he does answer questions every day for his team. He represents his team as well as anyone in the game of baseball, on and off the field. And he produces.
I don't know of another player of his stature, thank you, who accepts the role that he has of answering questions from the media like he does. Before every game, after every game. Stands at his locker and basically says, okay, guys, I'm ready, and does the job. I'm sure he has other things he'd rather be doing for 15 minutes before and after every game. So he accepts it.
He takes the same rhythm as the manager, which the manager knows he's going to do a few pregame and the huddle. He knows he's going to do the postgame and a few others. He does the same thing.
Takes a little of the attention, a little of the pressure off some of the other guys on the team, too. And he does this as well. One of the great players the White Sox have had.
That's second to Frank Thomas in most of those. Where he is fourth.
He's going to have 400 home runs, 1,300 RBIs, 800 extra base hits. Those are fabulous numbers as he plays the next couple years of his career.
Started in the Dodger system as a catcher.
Traded by Tommy Lasorda, I think.
And as everyone's watching this at bat, what he's doing is staying in the middle of the field. He's taking these inside fastballs. He's just inside outing them. He's not going to pull a ground ball to third base on that fastball that's running in on him. And he's going to stay out over the plate so he can hit that slider when it presents itself. It's 3 pitches in a row. Outstanding way of fighting the ball off, making sure that he's going to at least drive in a run by using the big part of the park, going from left center field to right center field.
Pop-up. Santiago, 2 down. Well, Konerko's been awfully special to the White Sox for many, many years, and nobody knows that better than Ozzie Guillen.
Well, that's the reason we call him the king. And it's the reason I named him a captain. I think he's like a father figure. Even for me. You know what I mean? Sometimes when I'm going to talk to PK, I better bring my But because that's the way he is, very quiet man. He's a gentleman, and I think everybody went through it. Did you ask any players here? He's our father figure, and this man, I don't know how he do that. I don't know. He's just so good what he does.
I don't know if I've ever heard a manager ever describe one of his players before as being a father figure, even to him. Well, that's what Ozzie says about Konerko. Here's A.J. Pierzynski. 2 on, 2 out. The White Sox are down 9-0 here in the 6th inning. Sharply hit, but right at the shortstop, Peralta. And the inning is over. Scherzer gets out of it. The Tigers will take a 6-0 lead at the bottom of the 6th. ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, presented by Taco Bell, is brought to you by Bud Light Lime. The just right taste of Bud Light with a refreshing splash of 100% natural lime flavor. Tigers 9. I shortchanged them on the way up. 9-0 over the White Sox. Going to the bottom of the 6th, and a couple of changes for Chicago. Donnie Lucy is in to catch. And making his second major league appearance on the mound is right-hander Shane Lindsay from Australia. With more, here's Pedro Gomez.
And guys, one of the all-time great stories. His mother finds out that he's going to be promoted to the big leagues. She gets on a 20-hour flight from Melbourne to the U.S., gets there in time to watch. But before that, or after that, I should say, Ozzie Guillen's wife had told him the whole story, and she was basically in tears telling Ozzie the story about how Shane's mother had come all the way from Australia. He couldn't believe the story. Just a really, really heartwarming story. Spent $4,000+ to get here just to watch. And, you know, guys, baseball is not a big sport in Australia at all. It's Australian rules football that rules over there. So not a lot of kids play this sport over there.
And she made it here in time for the game Friday, but the next chapter of the story is apparently she's staying here, staying stateside for a while. The White Sox have a day-night doubleheader in Minnesota tomorrow, so apparently mom's already flown to Minneapolis. She's not here tonight because she had to get a commercial flight up to see her son tomorrow. So hopefully she's already in Minneapolis and watching on TV tonight, because Shane is in the game again, his second major league appearance.
The pressure he must have felt in his first outing, knowing that she did that. She let him know he was there because the standing room only ticket, he left her a free ticket. She couldn't figure out how to get that, so she went and bought a standing room only ticket, was down by the bullpen watching him warm up, and was actually recognized and told him he was there. The pressure he felt that mom came the whole way, couldn't get the right ticket. Now I'm going out there and plus throw a 0. What a story.
has a really good sinker, too. As it looks, it's sinking off the plate right now. It looks like one of those balls that will break a lot of right-handers' bats and have left-handers hit it off the end.
Lindsey originally signed by Colorado as a free agent in 2003 and just made his major league debut a couple of days ago. Split the season between AA and AAA this year and had some great minor league numbers, an ERA just over 2. And at AAA, an opponent's batting average of 132. The batter was Alex Avila. Liner to left center. Trouble. Martinez hits third. He'll be held. It's a double by Avila. His third hit of the night.
Well, Alex went up hunting that sinker, and as that ball ran away from the plate, he hit the inside part of this ball as it's running away from the left-hander. He takes a good swing, and you see the bat is hitting the ball on the first base side to drive it into left center field. Boom. Nice hitting, nice driving.
So second and third, nobody out for Johnny Peralta. The Tigers got 1 in the first, 3 in the third, 5 in the fourth, which is when they knocked Mark Burley out of the game. They've got 9 runs on 15 hits. They haven't hit a home run yet in this game. That's a fair ball. And 2 more runs will come in to score. It's a double for Peralta. It is 11-0.
He has better fortune when mom's in town. She shouldn't have went to Minnesota so early.
That's that sinker that now comes into the right-hander, who really opens up his front hip, runs his hands in towards his front hip so he can inside out this ball and shoot it down the right field line.
You open the hip because you clear to give your hand some room in there.
If you don't open your hip, there's no way you can lead with your hands out in front of your hip unless you just foul it off.
3 RBIs on the night now for Peralta. Here's Ryan Rayburn, 1 for 3. The Tigers won Friday 8-1. That put the White Sox 6.5 out. The White Sox were leading 8-1 in the 5th inning yesterday, and the Tigers came all the way back and won it in the bottom of the 9th, 9-8. That put the White Sox 7.5 out. And now the Tigers are crushing Chicago 11-0. As the White Sox hopes of making the postseason, their realistic hopes, have come to a crashing thud here in Detroit this week. And a loss tonight, and they'll be 8.5 back.
Exactly, Dan. And you just saw Jim Leland looking at the lineup card, knowing, as Oral mentioned earlier in the telecast, that he has an expanded roster, and he's figuring out how he can get guys out of the game and still put a defensive team out on the field that will keep his team in the game. So you see the marks are starting to go up on the left side. We're crossing these guys off. Then we go from the bottom. We got to cross this guy off. We've got to get Peralta out of there. There we go.
This is we're learning what moves he's going to make before he even announces. This is great.
Peralta's out. We're probably going to get a new catcher in there before it's over. We have Young coming out.
Grimes is going to short.
Yeah.
And Dirks will come into the game for Delman Young.
Stay tuned.
We just have a hunch, yeah. Just playing hunch.
There's no outs. He's still got time.
Rayburn is swinging him for out number 1.
Scherzer's going to get his work. He's still in the game. He's going to work on this shutout. This is something really to build here at the beginning of September. Build the confidence. As Earl's saying, these aren't the greatest of pitches, but he's getting the best of results, and that's how you build your confidence going into the latter part of the season. Jimmy's built a lot of confidence in his day. Over 500 wins with the Tigers. Over 1,500 wins in his career.
Inge drives the ball to left center field. Getting the wave around third. Peralta will score 12-0.
So now you have that pitch coming in on Inge, and he'll lose this ball about 7 feet out in front of the plate. You see a very good swing where he gets firm on the front side off of his back foot, and now he's watching, he can't see it anymore, but he's going to hit it. That's a great look from our center field camera. Great job, guys.
And a 3-hit night for Inge. Back to the top of the order, Austin Jackson batting for the 5th time, and this game is in the 6th inning.
Ooh. He is really swinging well. He looks like he's so relaxed and confident. He's starting his legs so early, and he feels he could hit any pitch that's thrown. When Jimmy Leland said he got into the take mode and he got away from being aggressive, he is now ramping up the aggressive mode. So he's ready to hit every pitch until he knows it's a ball and he's taking it. And that's how you learn to walk, not only how you learn to hit.
Swing, 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 disengage if it's a ball. Swing, 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 kill it.
3-2.
And Tom Robson, my favorite hitting coach, my hitting coach for over 18 years, always said you have to swing and miss to know where you are. When you swing and miss, you then will know how to make the adjustment on the pitch next time you see that ball.
Bouncer to third, got to hurry, and another one will skip past Konerko. Inge will come to third, Jackson will go to second.
I'm not used to this because I just did the Little League World Series and we had the 10-run rule there. This ball just thrown right into the ground. If you're going to go for the one-hop throw, it's usually when you're deep into the hole. You don't do it when you have a routine ground ball. But Jackson, even though they are up 12-0, he is still busting it, playing at full speed.
Might have been a hit and an error.
It is base hit and an error. The second error charged tonight to Brent Morel, the third baseman. The third error committed by the White Sox tonight. Second and third, one out. Ramon Santiago pops up the first pitch. Out number 2. Well, due to all the bad weather in the southeast, the NASCAR Sprint Cup race, which was to have run today, will now be presented Tuesday at 11 in the morning Eastern time on ESPN from Atlanta. Andy Dirks is going to bat in Delman Young's spot. Gets in the race mood. Dirks coming on here for Young, who was 2 for 4 tonight. 12-0 Tigers. They've got 18 hits in this game. And a strike.
Come on, Andy.
Dirks, corner outfielder, getting some time against right-handers. At times in right field, and he finds a hole. Bounces one up the middle. They can do no wrong.
Jim Leland said it earlier in the game in his interview with Buster that they've hit balls hard that have found the gaps, and they've hit balls not so hard that have found holes. Everything they're hitting is reaching the outfielder, and he's going to just try to figure out how he could rest the legs of every starter on his team
so that they have that day game tomorrow and they're fresh. Yeah, he'll be back there.
He's got Kelly ready to come in for Cabrera after this at bat.
Exactly, and we have Inge who could use the at bat, so he'll stay in the game. Jackson, who's young and swinging the bat so well, but you want to make sure you keep him healthy, not necessarily tired. It doesn't look like that body will ever get tired, but you want to make sure that he's not going to get in harm's way in a game that gets out of hand as this one has.
Miguel Cabrera 1 for 3, had a 2-run double in the 4th inning. It's gotten pretty festive here at Comerica Park. The Tigers winning easily Friday, the enormous comeback win yesterday, and now an absolute rout here tonight.
Dan, you hear so much about Detroit in the Midwest and the slump that we have and the car industry that has lost so many jobs. But when you look around Comerica Park tonight and see so many fans, you see this festive attitude. They were on their feet as Scherzer came off the field last inning, giving a standing ovation. I mean, this city is alive and well in this ballpark, and it's because of baseball that they have the spirit that they have.
Better than 42,000 people here tonight, listed as a sellout. The first place Detroit Tigers, who back in May were as many as 7 games behind Cleveland. They were kind of struggling along about the 500-point oral. You talked about how quickly they made up so much ground. 7 back in May, 6 up here in September, and heading to Cleveland for a big 3-game series beginning tomorrow afternoon. To center.
Before the game talked about him starting to elevate the ball more, saying he's not sure how you do that. But we talked about it being a great low ball hitter and a great breaking ball hitter. He fouled off some fastballs that were tough pitches to hit. He finally gets a low breaking ball, and when he does, he hits it 430 feet out and 430 feet up.
16-0, the first home run of the game for the Tigers. Cabrera now with 26 homers and 92 RBIs.
When big leaguers are making oohs and ahs, they're impressed.
Lloyd McClendon says, son, you got every piece of that.
Man-child.
Here it goes. He knows it's a curveball. You can see him looking way out in front of the plate because he's tracking that ball not with his eyes at the end, but with his mind, because he's done it before. And when I say it's high, it's out of the screen. It finally comes down, and when it does, it's in the bushes.
The distance wasn't as impressive as how high it was hit and the majesty of that shot. Wow. He's smiling.
Two and two the count on Victor Martinez. So Cabrera's homered and driven in 4. Austin Jackson's got a couple of hits. He's scored 3 runs. Johnny Peralta's driven in 3. Alex Avila's got 3 hits and 2 RBIs. Brandon Inge has 3 hits. Victor Martinez has 3 hits. This one's a double. And it just keeps going and going.
Ramirez has caught more balls as a relay man tonight, as the first baseman is caught from the infielders.
I think you're about right.
Oh, yes. He's got more balls from the outfielder out in left center field than Konerko's gotten from the infielders throwing it across the diamond.
You got to feel a little bit for Shane Lindsay. Second major league appearance. Worked a scoreless inning on Friday. He's given up 7 runs this inning. Avila takes a strike. The Tigers have more runs and more hits in this game than they've had in any game this season. And it's the 6th.
Already.
And if you just focused on Jim Leland, you'd swear they were down a run and a nail biter that's taken years off his life. So that's part of what makes him a great manager. Luis Marte is out in the Tiger pit.
Well, this would be the second really long rest for Scherzer. He had over 30 minutes when they scored the 5 runs in the 4th. So it would almost be like a second rain delay he'd have to pitch through.
Center, a base hit. His 4th hit of the game. Martinez will stop at 3rd.
It was a heartwarming story for his mom to come all the way from Australia to watch his first big league outing. We're kind of glad he's not here. She's not here for the second one, because this is a tough one to swallow. I don't care who you are. It's 41 pitches this inning, I think. That's a lot of pitches. He's trying to do his job, and they've got the bullpen up.
Remember, they've got a doubleheader tomorrow, the White Sox. They don't want to go through too many pitchers, but at some point they got to do something here. Shane Lindsay just can't get this 3rd out. So Kinney is up in the pen for the White Sox. Josh Kinney, Will Rhymes will pinch hit for Johnny Peralta for the Tigers. Let's go down to Buster Olney.
Batters plate. You guys, you've seen the parade of batters coming to the plate. Well, during the course of this inning, when Andy Dirks came to bat, Miguel Cabrera suddenly realized he was on deck. He ran down to the other end of the dugout, grabbed a helmet, grabbed a bat, went to the on-deck circle, and it worked out well for him.
All right, Buster, thank you. Everything has worked out well so far tonight for the Tigers. They're hitting a lot of balls hard. A lot of them have found holes. And they can do no wrong. 16 runs on 22 hits. This is a 7-run inning. Andy Dirks singled home a couple. Cabrera hit a moonshot of a home run. Some of the regulars will get the rest of the night off. And again, if you're the White Sox, you came here this weekend thinking this is our shot. Playing the team we're chasing. Down 5.5 at the beginning of the series. Blown out Friday. Heartbreaking comeback defeat, if you will, for the White Sox yesterday. And getting demolished here tonight. A 7-run inning. 16-0 Tigers.
When you're a great hitter and you've done it before, you see it and you make sure you don't miss it, and then you watch it leave the park.
lucky enough to have the luxury of one of those sweet rides. Kind you only take out once a week. The kind that draws envious stares as it cruises by. Looks smooth and handles mean. And when you hit the gas, see ya. If any town can appreciate a ride like that, this is it.
Been some kind of a season for Justin Verlander and some kind of a night for the Detroit Tigers. 16-0, their highest scoring game of the season. Just pummeling the White Sox tonight. 22 hits, that's also a season high. Max Scherzer is back on the mound for the 7th inning. A number of defensive changes for the Tigers that we'll get to as time allows. Diana Viciedo leads off the 7th for the White Sox, and he takes a strike. Dirks is now at left. Santiago has moved to short. Rhymes stays in the game at second. Kelly takes over at first. Justin Verlander, you saw that piece on him. He is having an extraordinary season. Picked up his 21st win of the season on Friday. Went 7 1/3, gave up just 1 run. Change up in the dirt, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Verlander is leading the American League in wins, ERA, innings pitched, strikeouts, opponent's batting average. He is the clear front runner for the Cy Young Award. Bouncer to Santiago.
He's not leading in home runs, RBIs, stolen bases.
No.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to make sure.
The big discussion recently has been, is Justin Verlander a viable candidate for most valuable player? Best pitcher? No doubt. Great seasons by Jared Weaver, CC Sabathia, but Verlander appears to be the front runner. He's won 9 straight starts, by the way. He has a phenomenal record. I think 15 of his wins have come directly after a Tiger loss. Alex Rios is the batter. First pitch swinging, fly ball right field. 2 down. Philosophically, should a pitcher be considered for MVP?
Definitely considered. Definitely considered. I'm not on the same page of that they should be considered the same as a regular player. I think almost the regular players have to lose the chance to win the award so the pitcher can kind of come in the back door.
Right.
But I think first consideration goes to the everyday players for sure.
Yeah, I agree. I think that they're in the conversation. They could get a vote or two, but it has to be hands down that they are so much more valuable than anyone who's playing offense. But this guy is very valuable, and he is going to get consideration.
Inning over. More on Verlander when we come back. 7th inning stretch in Detroit. 16-0 for the Tigers. Welcome to ESPN's coverage of the hunt for October. From American Park in Detroit, ESPN's Sunday Night Baseball is presented by Taco Bell. It is all Tigers tonight. They lead the White Sox 16-0. On their way to a sweep and on their way to a 6.5 game lead over the Indians, an 8.5 game lead over the White Sox. Brent Lillibridge replaces Paul Konerko at first. Eduardo Escobar replaces Gordon Beckham at second. September call-up. And Josh Kinney is the fourth pitcher of the night for the White Sox. Former St. Louis Cardinal. 2 monster innings for the Tigers in this game. 5 in the fourth, 7 in the sixth. They're skipping all the even numbers tonight. They've gone 1, 3, 5, and 7 in the 4 innings in which they've scored runs.
You don't think that means they've got a 9 in them between now and the end of the game tonight, do you?
I'd like to see a 0 here, actually.
So would Ozzie.
See if they could keep pace with that on one, off one.
Ryan Rayburn leads it off. Well, we were talking about Justin Verlander, and you guys both feel that pitchers, if warranted, should definitely be considered for the MVP, but not if there are some hitters who have truly great seasons. And this year you look around, whether it's Granderson or whether it's Gonzalez, whether it's Ellsbury, there are some hitters.
Batista.
The first 3 guys are hitters on contending teams, probable playoff teams who are having great years. So where would you guys put Verlander if you had a vote? Would he be 2nd, 5th, 8th? Where would you vote for?
You know, when you get the instructions, as these voters do from the commissioner's office, it says that, you know, you just have to pick the player who is the best player. It says he does not have to be on a contending team. He just has to be the most valuable player to his team.
I have the instruction. You have them too?
Wow.
Yep, got him.
It's the Baseball Writers Association that votes on the MVP. Here are the guidelines. The actual value of a player to his team, that is strength of offense and defense. Swing and a miss, and Rayburn is gone. Number of games played. Well. General character, disposition, loyalty, and effort. That's basically it. There's a lot of latitude in there. There's a lot of gray area.
And those rules were written back in 1931 when the voting started for MVP. And it also specifies that pitchers and designated hitters are to be considered.
By the way, in 1988, when Mr. Hershiser had that incredible season, unanimous Cy Young, 59 consecutive scoreless innings, 23 wins, a 2.26 ERA, 267 innings.
He was the MVP.
15 complete games.
Everyone voted for him.
8 shutouts. Orel finished 6th in National League MVP voting. One of your teammates, Kirk Gibson, won the award.
Thoroughly deserved it.
Darryl Strawberry, Kevin McReynolds, Andy Van Slyke, Will Clark, then Orel Hershiser.
Kurt had about 77 RBIs that year.
Yep.
And he didn't play all the time, and it says you're supposed to play all the time.
Well, they considered character, disposition, and loyalty because he was inspiring to us, I'm sure.
He had character.
He definitely had a lot of character, and that's what he's bringing to the Arizona Diamondbacks right now as their manager. But Gibby, internally, I know Tommy Lasorda, our manager, tried to corral a lot of votes for him and talk about the intangibles, and I'm sure he helped. But we didn't say anything publicly that wasn't going on privately. He was an exceptional player, an exceptional leader, and the statistics might not have shown it, but he was our most valuable player.
Last pitcher to win the MVP, Dennis Eckersley, 1992. Last starting pitcher to win the MVP, Roger Clemens, 1986. Ends with a ground ball to short, 2 down. Now, if you look at the vast majority of pitchers who won MVP and Cy Young in the same season, most of it is a number of years ago when in many cases, depending on what era we're talking about, either just one team from each league or only 2 teams in each league made the playoffs. Now 4 teams in each league make the playoffs. So you used to be able to say, well, nobody from that team, no hitter from that team had a great year. But there are more teams making the playoffs right now. So whether it's Boston, New York, and this, you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying.
Right, there's less of a chance for there to be a season where none of the playoff teams had a hitter who had a really big season, because you got more teams in the playoffs.
Right. But again, the instructions...
That all made sense this morning.
But the instruction says nothing about the team making the playoffs.
True.
And a player like Jose Bautista, who has played on the Blue Jays team, has been very valuable to that team.
Justin Verlander will probably get some consideration. 21 wins and counting with almost a month to go. Sunday Night Baseball is presented by Taco Bell. Think outside the bun. And in part by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. Drive sober or get pulled over. Dan Shulman to Bobby Valentine, Oral Hershiser, Pedro Gomez, Buster Olney, Comerica Park. Tigers in a rout, 16-0. Max Scherzer done after 7 shutout innings. Luis Marte has had quite a week as he makes his 3rd major league appearance. Made his major league debut on Thursday, and then it was Marte who got the win yesterday as the Tigers came all the way back from an 8-1 deficit and won 9-8. He worked the top of the 9th inning. 0-2 the count on Brent Morel. Lays off the breaking ball. The White Sox with a day-night doubleheader against the Twins up in Minneapolis tomorrow. The Tigers are in Cleveland tomorrow afternoon. Swing and a miss, breaking ball. 1 down, and Morel has struck out at all 3 of his at-bats tonight. Bayer Advanced Aspirin wants you to know that for the rest of the season, Bayer will be donating $10 to the Red Cross for every strike thrown at 95 miles per hour or faster. For more information, log on to speedupyourrelief.com. 1 down in the 8th. And here is Eduardo Escobar. Came on defensively an inning ago. He made his major league debut on Friday. And the first pitcher he faced in the big leagues, forever, Justin Verlander. And he got an infield hit off him, although it was the wrong call at first. He should have been called out. But in the box score, forever etched in baseball history, Escobar got a base hit off Verlander in his first major league at bat.
Bobby, who was the first major league pitcher you faced?
First one I faced was Jack Billingham. He K'd me. First hit I got was Don Guillen.
First
That's pretty good.
Batter I faced was Gary Carter. And he grounded out to Bill Russell to Greg Brock on about the second pitch.
Russell threw it all the way across, or was it like one hop?
He only had one finger at that time. I think he one-fingered it over there into the dirt. Greg Brock dug it out. Second batter was Tim Wallach, Al Oliver, and then the next inning I gave up 3 doubles and was out of the game. First inning I walked off the mound going, this is going to be easy. Second inning I walked off the mound being taken out of the game. You're out of here.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Marte, who's making it look pretty easy so far in his young major league career. The Tigers have scored 33 runs in this 3-game series against the White Sox and basically ended all realistic hopes the White Sox may have had of making the postseason. They've gone from 5.5 to what will be 8.5 out at the end of this game tonight. Indians will be 6.5 out at the conclusion of this game tonight.
On the plane ride here and the bus ride over to the ballpark or to the hotel, they were talking during the first game coming in. Come on, we sweep them. We beat Verlander this first one. We're going to take this thing down to 2.5. We're going to have a great September. And those dreams got shattered real quick.
Pierre with a base hit into center field.
Been in those conversations a lot. You're coming into a big series. You're going against the ace first. You're like, we knocked the ace off. We're going to deflate them. We're going to go from there.
But it went from there to Verlander winning. And then the next conversation is we still have 2 out of 3. Let's win this one tonight. And they get off to an 8-1 lead. That loss last night after the long rain delay was as demoralizing as could be. And Verlander can't wait for his next start.
And a 16-0 score kind of shows the deflated sail of the White Sox.
You know, it's funny. Ozzie told us before the game when the Tigers made it 8-4 yesterday, he went, uh-oh. He had a bad feeling during the game that they didn't get enough runs or that the Tigers were starting to get back into it a little bit too quickly. Then they got another.
What was the score before the rain delay?
It was 8-5,
wasn't it?
And the rain delay in the 8th inning.
36-minute rain delay, and now you got to come back off and finish it off with like 2 innings to go.
You know, the Tigers got one more in the 8th to make it 8-6, and then Rayburn's 2-run homer tied it in the bottom of the 9th, and Miguel Cabrera's homer won it.
If there's a low light film for the White Sox, that'll be in it.
And you know, what we're seeing here tonight begs the question as to whether or not rosters should be expanded at this time of the year. You have contending teams going to play contending teams, and you have players out on the field and players available on that lineup card that Jim Leland was looking at who really had nothing to do with this pennant race for 5 months, and now they're all part of it, and they're giving certain teams a little different advantage than they should have going into the most crucial games of the season.
I think that when rosters are expanded, and I even think we should consider expanding rosters in the first few weeks of the season as you come out of spring training to protect players and pitchers. But when they're expanded in September, I really believe you can expand them, but there should only be 25 active players that night. That you have guys that are here, you don't have to send them back down, and then you name your 25 for the game. So you can take 30, 35, 32, whatever you want, but name 25 in September.
Another strikeout for Marte. He gets Ramirez, and we go to the bottom of the 8th, 16-0 Detroit. Everybody having a good time here in Detroit, and why not? Their Tigers are on their way to a huge win over the White Sox, 16-0, going to the bottom of the 8th. ESPN wraps up the holiday weekend with an ACC battle. Monday night as the Miami Hurricanes take on the Maryland Terrapins. College football primetime as part of Dick's Sporting Goods kickoff week on ESPN. Tomorrow at 8 Eastern, also available in spectacular 3D on ESPN 3D. Will Oman, 5th pitcher of the night for the White Sox. Ramon Santiago leads it off for the Tigers. One ball, one strike.
The Lions play at Tampa Bay, and I think they're hoping to get 16 points this weekend.
They're going to be better this year.
Yeah,
they're on the right path.
They got a healthy quarterback. They're going to want to score 16. Maybe in the first half.
And that got a piece of Santiago. Well, it is currently 16-0 for the Tigers. There have been some big shutout victories in Major League Baseball this year. The largest in baseball this season is a 15-0 win. The Dodgers over the Twins on the 27th of June. So this would be the largest margin of victory in a shutout in baseball this year if the White Sox don't score in the 9th inning. Andy Dirks up for the second time. Bounced one up the middle for a 2-run single back in the 6th when the Tigers really blew it open. A 7-run inning. Oral, you're okay with the courtesy play at first base now that we discussed a little bit earlier?
I think we're finally. I think we're there for sure.
I didn't play, so I just.
But 9-0 in the 5th. When you lost an 8-1 game. The reason I don't like it, I don't think it's respectful to the game.
18-0. Andy Dirks didn't start the game. Probably never had any idea he'd even come into the game. He's 2 for 2 with 4 RBIs.
And he'll probably be seeing a lot of playing time in Cleveland with their right-handers going against Detroit the next few days. So that's a good thing for Jim Leland and his squad.
You got Ubaldo Jimenez.
Masterson and Carmona. Three righties with really good stuff.
And we get to see Fister also tomorrow.
Yep. Labor Day ESPN radio doubleheader beginning with the Tigers in Cleveland at 1 o'clock and then the Braves in Philadelphia at 7 o'clock. Don Kelly's first at bat. Came on defensively for Miguel Cabrera at first.
Quick player quiz. Who's he look like? I saw Andy Fox.
Don Kelly?
Wow.
Quick glance. I just went Andy Fox.
That's good. I like that. Yes.
Another base hit. Did you guys ever go through one of these on the losing end? How do you keep your chin up? How do you move on? How do you?
It is so hard. You, if you're the pitcher, and you're giving up 6 or 7, and you know you're just out there to eat up innings, it's really, really hard. You got a lump in your throat, and you're just pitching right through it and pushing as hard as you can, almost like when you're a long-distance runner and you're pushing through the pain, knowing you're going to keep running. It's really hard.
It's hard. It's hard to keep your concentration on defense.
Carlos Guillen bats for Victor Martinez.
You know, you really got to be proud of is the fans have stayed here. The Tiger fans have really said, you know what? We bought a ticket. We got a great team. We're going to go to the playoffs. We're going to stay and support this and stick around and enjoy some baseball.
It's my first time at this beautiful stadium. I'm overly impressed by the surroundings, by the people, by their enthusiasm, obviously by the play on the field, and by the way the city's really trying their best to develop the streets and the character, not only around the ballpark, but all throughout the city of Detroit.
Got some fireworks going off. We can see beyond the buildings as we look out towards center field. Labor Day holiday weekend. Pretty good light show right now. A lot of fireworks here in the ballpark tonight as well. 18 runs on 24 hits for the Tigers. And a swing and a miss. Guillen is gone for out number 1.
A little surprised Alex has been in this game thus far. Foul tip off the finger could spell disaster for the Tigers. He's played so well, but he's a young man, and Jimmy believes in earning your stripes. So these are the kind of games when you're young and you're good and talented that you have to earn your stripes on the team.
Avila tonight 4 for 5, 3 singles and a double.
Is he giving him a shot at his first 5-hit night?
Guy's played a lot.
Looks fresh.
Caught a lot of baseball this year.
Yes, he has.
Yep. Tigers' biggest shutout win ever, 21-0. The White Sox most lopsided shutout loss ever, 19-0. One in the first, 3 in the third, 5 in the fourth, 7 in the sixth, and 2 here in the eighth.
It's got to be one of the most lopsided games we've ever done on Sunday Night Baseball.
I think it is
got to be approaching.
I believe the most lopsided Sunday night game, and it is. Folks in the truck are working hard. They're trying to dig up all the records and superlatives they can find.
I wish they were digging up like combined no-hitters and how deep they go, but no, we've got to look up the 18-0. It's easy on that side.
Yep.
It's fun over there.
Last time the Tigers made the postseason was 2006. They were the wild card team that year. They let a lead slip away in the division, wound up as the wild card, but got to the World Series where they lost to the St. Louis Cardinals. A 6.5 game lead at the end of this game tonight over the Indians. 6 games left between the Tribe and the Tigers. Swing and a miss. Avila gone. 2 down.
Wasn't that the World Series where the pitchers threw the ball away a lot?
Yes.
And if they get to that point, I'm sure Jim Leland, they will be doing a lot of PFP, pitcher fielding practice.
Good memory.
They threw the ball down the right field line an awful lot.
Well, one of the great things for the Tigers is if they can hang on, and if they can hang on to if they can not have to clinch it in the last couple of days.
Line the pitching up.
They can have Verlander lined up for game 1 and know that he would be able to pitch twice in a playoff series and potentially a 5-game series in the first round.
Yeah, Bobby plotted it out as of where he is right now and putting him on every 5th day, including if there wasn't a game, just plot him right out, and he would be on his turn for game 2 right now. So they're going to have to clinch early and make this really comfortable if they want to get him on schedule for game 1. And they do not pitch him on short rest.
That's a key that Jim Leyland said he is not going to be stressed to pitch him on short rest. And then I think there's a pause where he says, until the playoffs, if necessary.
Breaking ball for a strike.
Short rest in a short spurt, I don't think is that big a deal. I think you get to the point where you eliminate your side work, you watch your cardio, your weightlifting going into that start, and you just eliminate some things in between starts. And that's not a problem because you don't have to go that much further.
Great leaping catch by Escobar at second to end the inning. To the 9th in Detroit, 18-0 Tigers. Catch a doubleheader of Major League action on ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball. Begins at 7 Eastern. National League East Division rivals, the Braves and the Phillies, begin the doubleheader. And then at 10 o'clock Eastern out west, as the Angels host the Seattle Mariners. ESPN's Wednesday Night Baseball, also available online at ESPN3. Dan Schulman to Bobby Valentine, Oral Hershiser, Comerica Park. 18-0 Tigers, one of the most lopsided games in Major League history here tonight. There, eat, sleep, and breathe Tigers here tonight in Detroit. Brent Lillibridge leads it off for the White Sox against left-hander Dwayne Bilo. Bilo, 19th round pick back in 2006, made his Major League debut back in July. Tiger bullpen, and we haven't seen the key guys here tonight, but they're feeling pretty good about things right now. Jose Valverde has not blown a save all season. Joaquin Benoit, right-hander. Al Albuquerque, who's had a great year, is due back from a concussion. He's active tonight. Didn't see him tonight, but available, and he was been a huge contributor out of the pen. Phil Koch and Daniel Schlereth, left-handers. There's a base hit.
Two lefties will be key in the playoffs against the Yankees and possibly the Red Sox.
Valverde, 40 saves in 40 save opportunities this year.
The big caballo. And Joaquin Benoit, after the very slow start at the beginning of the year for about a month or so, has really been outstanding in the setup role.
Catcher Donnie Lucy is up. He'll take a strike. Let's send it down to Pedro Gomez.
Guys, you'll never know how close we came to seeing Adam Dunn make his major league debut as a pitcher in the bottom of the 8th there. Pitching coach Don Cooper signed off on it. He was ready to go. Ozzie Guillen at the last second said, no, we can't do it. And Dunn told me, you know what, the way my year has gone, I want to do everything I can this year to get it all out of the way so that I can concentrate on starting to get 2012 ready for me.
That would have been a sight to behold. 6'6", 280-pound Adam Dunn out on the mound. To right center field, dropping and in there for a base hit. Lillibridge around third, and he's going to score. Lucy with an RBI double. The shutout is gone, and the crowd is booing here in Detroit. And even Ozzie can manage a smile down by 17.
That's the way to handle an 18-1 deficit with 3 outs to go. You just kind of have to smile and laugh it off.
Here's Viciedo.
Bobby always does this to me. He goes, Oral, your thoughts? So, Bobby, your thoughts?
I don't know if I could force a smile on 18-0 in this series, but
that's about what he's doing. Huh?
Yeah, I think it was a little forced smile.
Yeah.
And a base hit up the middle for Viciedo. Lucy will be held at third. So run on 3 hits off Bilo here to begin the 9th inning.
You know, we talked about the courtesy rules. When do the courtesy rules get turned off then? At what time? You know, if you're down 7 to 5th, I know you're, and then but you climb back within 5, 4. When do you start holding the runner back on again? These unwritten rules.
Here's Rios.
I thought the courtesy rule started a little early tonight.
I don't think we have to worry about that one.
No.
About them getting back into this game. Kelly will stay behind the runners.
To center field. This one hangs up long enough for Jackson to make the catch. And tagging at third, Lucy will come to score 18-2. Marty Aronoff pointing out to me that the run scored by the White Sox this inning snapped a 26-0 run. He's thinking basketball terms, snapping a 26-0 run for the Tigers going back to yesterday. They got the last 8 runs of yesterday's game and the first 18 runs tonight.
Unanswered runs.
Unanswered runs. Here's Diaza. For 3 tonight.
Our Chevrolet player of the game is going to be kind of a vote for Verlander.
Because?
In the midst of all this offense, a pitcher may win it.
I see. All right. That's fair. Well, the hitters split the vote. So many of them had big numbers tonight.
So it's kind of a way that Justin Verlander, you know, he might sneak in there for the MVP.
Yeah, the Boston guys could split some vote there.
Yeah. Yankee guys, I don't know if they'll split any votes there.
No, but Bautista and Granderson could split some of that other vote.
Bautista hit his 40th home run today.
It actually could come down to the voters really paying attention to their 3rd and 4th place votes to be the tiebreakers of who wins it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everybody's safe. An error on Rhymes. Tonight's Chevrolet player of the game is Max Scherzer. He goes 7 shutout innings and is well on his way to his 14th win of the season. Terrific job by Scherzer tonight. And got a little bit of run support that relaxed him, I'm sure, in the middle innings.
You know, the thing that he did really well is when they did score the runs, he came back out of the dugout after long delays when you could have had the excuse of losing your rhythm or cooling down. He went right back to attacking the hitters and throwing strikes and put another 0 on the board.
Morel hits a high fly ball to deep left center and caught shy of the track by Dirks for the second out. Viciedo tags and comes to third. Diaz are back to first. So they're an out away, and those who are still here now on their feet at Comerica. The White Sox came in 5.5 back, and the Tigers swept them right out of town. Detroit 6.5 up on Cleveland at the conclusion of this game, 8.5 up on the White Sox. Eduardo Escobar, the batter. Switch hitter now batting to the right side against the left-hander Bilo. Big offensive nights from Miguel Cabrera, Alex Avila, Andy Dirks, Johnny Peralta, Brandon Inge, Austin Jackson, you name it. It's like a cross up there between Bilo and Avila. 18-2, the Tigers lead. For Ozzie and the White Sox, they got to get on a plane doubleheader, day-night doubleheader against the Twins in Minneapolis tomorrow, with their prospects looking bleaker and bleaker. It's over. Well, the Tigers certainly took care of business this weekend. They scored 35 runs in 3 games and swept the White Sox. Max Scherzer gets the win tonight, his 14th. The Tigers are 6.5 up on the Indians, 8.5 up on the White Sox. The World Series of Poker is coming up next year on ESPN2. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For